Hey, Elle, can you hear me? All right, we got Chandra L back on board as a member. Hey, Susan. We are going to begin at probably about 8:50. I'm going to give a chance for as many people to come in as possible so that when I start the award session, the person will be here, but it doesn't matter. either way, we're going to get started no later than 8:50. Thank you for coming in and liking the live already. Tetra, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see every one of you. All right, we got the crew tonight. I'm so happy to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, it's 8:45. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and prepare to get started. Some people may have to watch on replay, and that's fine. But I don't want to hold people up all night just waiting. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started in about 3 minutes, okay? All right, first and foremost, I would like to say thank you very much to each and every one of you for being a Heart Truth member. And some of the people here are not members, but have been or get ready to be. And so I want to say thank you so much to everyone. Tell it to L, new membership. First in the chat, thank you so much. Much love to you. And also, I have an intro video that I'd like to show you. It's only about a minute long. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. All right. I'm going to give it a full screen. It's just a quick flash through this year at a glance. All right. And we're going to get started after that. All right. Davino, I will put the link in for you. And we'll move right along so you'll still have some of your Saturday night. Merry Christmas. All right, here is our year at a glance. Let's check this out quickly. I guess it's going to play. Well, this is a little manual. I tell you what, I'll put that in a short. All right, before I start the award ceremony, I would like to say that we need to pick a country of the year, and the candidates for that are Canada, the UK, and Australia. And the winner for the most supportive international community this year is Australia. And it wasn't hard. All right, so much love to you, Aussies. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. And we're going to get started with our member awards now. Okay, our first set of awards goes to the members who have been here the longest. First up is Sudi Beche. All right, one of the first 9 Hard Truth members. I'm going to put my email up here in case anybody would like to have a copy of your award. I will send it to you if you email me. All right, let's see. Do it like this. All right, Sudi Beche, Star Sourcer, Agape Love, Just Here for the Tea, Robin Latham, Denny, Audrey Kate, Lori L.A. Northrop, Amy D. Okay, our next award will go to our selective detectives. Our selective detectives are members who pay the highest level of membership every month, and it's $25 per month. And these are uh, our selective detectives that have been consistent, and that will be AF, Star Sorcerer, and Katarina Rado. All right, Katarina Rado, Selective Detective, Star Sorcerer, Selective Detective, uh, and AF. All right. Next, our next award is for the longest running member on the Hard Truth channel, and I really don't even know, how many times to say thank you for this because this was my first member and longest running member, Lori L.A. Northrop. All right, and I will get with you. You know what it is. All right, most supportive. These are people that have been working hard with the channel, and I had to actually pick two. All right, here are the runners up: Terry Slew, Leslie Vasquez, AL, Robin Latham, Star Sorcerer, Davino the Italian, B River Girl, Tetra 5578, Deb Tudoro, and Susan Gardner. She got Susan, you got a little cut off here. But I think Susan's here. Much love. You know I love you. All right. I picked two winners for the most supportive, and those winners are Leslie Vasquez and Davino the Italian. All right. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much for all that you do. Much love. And last but not least, we need to choose a member of the year. This award is for the person that is, the consideration was for who was a member the longest, um, who worked the hardest, as a member, posting, commenting, moderating, whatever you do, um, financial donations, supporting the channel financially. I took all of that into consideration, and here are the runner up: AL, Star Sorcerer, Katarina Rado, Terry Slew, Robin Latham, Leslie Vasquez, and Lori L.A. Northrop. Okay, I have a runner up and a winner, both of which will have their choice of a hoodie from my Spread Shop store, which I think I have a screenshot of it, but you can get with me on it for your size and color or whatever. But those are the prizes for the runner up and the member of the year. Okay, the runner up is AF. All right, I want to give so many thanks to AF for, basically carrying the channel financially for 2 or 3 months as the donor of the month and also commenting on the videos. I really appreciate you. We really appreciate you. And you need to get with me with your color, whatever you want for your hoodie, and I will have it shipped out to you. All right. So now we have our member of the year. Uh, I wish I could say it was a tough choice, but it wasn't. This person is such a great person, a beautiful person. They've been with me from the beginning, and it's just so much love. I just can't even begin to describe. And so, for that reason, the member of the year for the Heart True Channel this year, 2023, is Robin Latham. Much love to you and your family. Same thing for you. Make sure that you let me know Oh, I do have a screenshot of it. This is a white one. I don't know if you can see it, but you know you can have other colors. So just get with me and let me know what color and size. Email me now to claim your award. And anyone that received the certificate, if you would like to have a copy, email me and I will send it out. All
Yeah,
right. And so that concludes our award ceremony. I do want to say thank you really to everyone that was ever a member of this channel, everyone who's not a member but might as well be, should be. All right. Davino, you wanted to say something?
no, I'm just
Okay.
listening.
All right. My intro video is stuttering like it's a PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is just make that into a short for anybody that wants to check it out later. And so we can move on to
Oh
our
yeah,
trivia game.
I sent you a cash app.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. You're so good to me. Our co-host, Davino, is really a blessing.
Oh,
I appreciate you also, sir.
you're welcome.
Now, what we're going to do next is play a little trivia game. You're going to have to grade your own papers, and the prize is um, a hard truth cup from the spread shop. And so I don't know if I should load them on here where you can actually see. I guess I will. All right. When you see the question, put put your answer in the chat. That way nobody can cheat. All right. Oh my God, HT, no way. Thank you. Now you know you my heart, Miss Robin. Don't you act up. You deserve it. All right, now listen. I want to put the share the screen and put the questions up. This is how we're gonna play.
Merry Christmas to you.
Or maybe I should put it over here. All right. Well,
Merry
hold
Christmas
on a second. I need to do it over here.
to you. Merry Christmas
All right. This
to
is how we're gonna play.
you.
I'm gonna ask the question. You're going to put your answer in the chat. There are 18 questions. Just do your best. Whoever gets the most right will win the prize. If you don't put your answers in the chat, then you're gonna be disqualified. We don't know whether you got it right or not. If you're not sure, guess. All right, here we go. Okay, here's the first question. Who was known as the Night Stalker during the 1980s? Put your answer in the chat, please. Who was known as the Night Stalker during the 1980s? I don't see. I see one person. I see one answer. All right, I see people answering. Who was known as the Night Stalker during the 1980s? We got the answers here, so we'll know who got it right. Okay, is that everybody? The answer is Richard Ramirez. All right. Second, which mobster was famously named Scarface? Which mobster was famously named Scarface? Are y'all? Are y'all? Which mobster was famously nicknamed Scarface? You got to put your answer in faster. Okay, the answer is I'm buffering. Give me a sec. I got way too much open. I see answers. Okay, the answer is Al Capone. The answer is Al Capone. You have to grade your own paper. All right, number 3. Which infamous killer used the pseudonym Zodiac? Which infamous killer used the pseudonym Zodiac? What infamous killer used the pseudonym Zodiac? All right, I'm going to put the answer. It was the Zodiac killer. That was kind of dumb. All right, number 4. Who was the primary suspect in the Black Dahlia murder? Who was the primary suspect in the Black Dahlia murder? Who was the primary suspect in the Black Dahlia murder? Come on. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answer. Dr. George Holder, which I had no idea either. Cindy, Miss Cindy. All right. In which city did Jack the Ripper commit his crimes? In which city did Jack the Ripper commit his crimes? Black Dahlia, man. Okay. All right. The answer to number 5 is London. I see some people got that right. All right. Number 6. Which killer clown murdered at least 33 young men? Which killer clown murdered at least 33 young men? We need a little music. All right, let's see. Do you know what you're talking about? Okay, the answer to number 6 is John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy. What happened, do you know? All right, number 7. Which American serial killer was a female prostitute? Which American serial killer was a female prostitute? Which American serial killer was a female prostitute? All right, the answer is Eileen Wuornos. Oh, the music's too loud. I just turn it off. All right, it's Eileen Wuornos. Number 8. Who was convicted for the Oklahoma City bombing? Who was convicted for the Oklahoma City bombing? Susan did get that one right. Who was convicted for the Oklahoma City bombing? Oh, a lot of people knew it was Eileen. Okay, we got Timothy McVeigh, Timothy Schmidt, the now dead guy. Wow. Okay, the answer is Timothy McVeigh. I hope you're keeping track of which ones you got right. All right, number 9. Who kidnapped, raped, and murdered at least 10 women in the 1980s and 1990s in Washington? I have an idea who this one is. Who kidnapped, raped, and murdered at least 10 women in the 1980s and 1990s in Washington? All right, we got a few votes. All right, we got Bundy, BTK, Green River Killer. All right, the answer is Gary Ridgway. Isn't that the Green River Killer, Annie Ruler? I think Annie had it. I think that is the Green River Killer. Okay, number 10. Which couple went on a killing spree in the 1930s? Miss Cindy said him too. Which couple went on a killing spree in the 1930s? I think I know this one. All right. Popular opinion is, let's see, Bonnie and Clyde and Davino. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Okay, the answer is Bonnie and Clyde. All right. Number 11. Who was the leader of the cult responsible for the Tate LaBianca murders? Who was the leader of the cult responsible for the Tate LaBianca murders? All right. All right. Popular opinion is Manson. Let's see if you're right. Yep, it's Charles Manson. All right, number 12. What criminal duo was involved in the 1955 The Crime of the Century? What criminal duo was involved in the 1955 The Crime of the Century? Hey, Brian. Batman and Robin. I'm going to put that on the screen. That's what you get. All right, let's see. Leopold and Lobe, baby kidnapping. Oh, I don't know. Let me give the answer. It is Leopold and Lev. Let's see who had that. Miss Cindy had it right. All right. Wow. Number 13. Which American criminal was nicknamed Babyface? Who was the Babyface killer? Which American criminal was nicknamed Babyface? Smarty pants. All right, yes, that was the Lindbergh baby. Nelson Puff Daddy. Okay, y'all tripping. Al Capone again. Babyface Nelson. Okay, here's the answer. It was Lester Nelson. Who had Nelson? Miss Cindy is crushing y'all.
She's doing crushing when she wants.
Yeah, my goodness. All right. Number 14. What organization did Al Capone head? That's kind of a weird question, but I guess. What organization did Al Capone head? Okay, Deb had B.F. Nelson also. All right. B.F. Nelson, La Cosa Nostra,
La Cosa
Chicago Mob.
Nostra.
Say what?
La Cosa Nostra.
Okay.
That means that thing of ours.
All right. Let's
Same
see.
thing.
Let's see. Oh, you probably right. Chicago outfit. That could be anybody.
Amen.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take your answer. I'll take your answer. All right. 15. Who confessed to the kidnap and murder of Adam Walsh in 1981?
Oh, what's his name?
Does
I
anybody
can't
know
remember.
who
Yeah,
confessed?
that was
I don't know. I have to look that up. I'll get these questions.
John Walsh, the guy. He was the father. Remember that?
1981. That's a little far back for me to be talking about. Who
I
did
just
it? Who did it?
my mom. I heard about it.
I had it. Otis Toole. Miss Cindy.
Who the heck is that?
All right, let's see. Otis Toole. Miss Cindy is crushing y'all. All right. It's a lot of Italian questions here. Which Italian criminal organization originated in Sicily? Eesh. I don't think. I know I don't know. Let's see. It's the answer you think it is. It's a very general answer. Yeah. Oh God, it was taken from the mall I lived in. Wow. Mafia or LA Cosa Nostra, Sicilia Mafia. I'm not much on mob crime. Okay, it says Mafia. All right, two more. 17. Where did Ted Bundy commit his last murders before being captured? Okay, I know the answer to this one, finally. Where did Ted Bundy commit his last murders before being captured? Deb said Moscow law enforcement. All right, so I feel good because I know the answer to this one. I do. Okay, we got Florida, Oregon, Florida Sorority House, Gainesville. I don't know. All right, let's see. All right, Florida State University. I think either any of y'all could be right because he was in three different cities in Florida. He was in Gainesville, and he was in Tallahassee, and he was in Florida City, Pensacola on the Panhandle. He was in all three of those cities, so I think we should take all three. All right, who was the Boston Strangler? Oh, what's going on? And I'm gonna stop at 18. Who was the Boston Strangler? This is the last question, and this is your last chance to get something right. Who was the Boston Strangler?
How am I supposed to know the name of these serial killers?
I don't
Let me
know.
see.
It's just for
I don't
fun.
know
It's
either.
just well, I don't know is an answer.
They're very true.
Yeah. All right. All right. I'll give the answer. It is Albert DeSalvo.
I have
I
no
don't.
idea. I never heard of that
I
guy.
never heard of that. All right.
Hmm.
Who won? Who had the
I
most?
think I think I think Cindy crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Miss Cindy won. So let me write that down.
I'm glad.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She won the game.
All right. I want to switch over for a little while, maybe 30 or 40 minutes. I'm talking about the case that we've been working on for so
Oh
long.
God,
Give
help
me
us
a
all.
chance to switch these out because there are so many screens open here. All right. So I'm going to close some of these out and then we're going to go to the Idaho 4 case. And what I want to start with is where we left off with the crime scene. All right. I'm just going to put a very general shot up here to get us started and ask my first question. All right, here we go. All right, we've had a lot of questions about the crime scene, and we have some people that are split down the middle about this. All right, according to the survey, it's a lot of people believe the PCA, and a lot of people don't believe the vision from Mr. Siegel, but they believe all of this other stuff on TikTok. That's what I don't understand. But maybe you can explain it to me. The things that stood out to me that I see we still really haven't agreed upon is who were at the house. Now, I thought that we were beyond trying to make Brian Koberger the suspect, but as you can see from the survey, that's not true. So we still have people who believe that Brian Koberger committed this crime by himself, just like the PCA said. Then we have some people that don't believe that. Then we have some people who still believe that half of the crimes occurred on Linda Lane. And then we have a small remnant of people who believe that everything happened at 1122 King Road. And to be honest with you, those are my thoughts. That everything happened on King Road. All right. There's always a chance that you might be wrong, but I think we have enough evidence now and enough reports to make some intelligent decisions about that, instead of speculating saying what if all the time. Now, I'm going to pull up, maybe I shouldn't start that yet. All right, but I am interested in knowing how many people in here right now believe Brian Kohlberger committed these Idaho 4 crimes? If you believe it, put yes in the chat. If you don't believe Brian did it, put no. Do you believe Brian Kohlberger committed these crimes? We need to be on one accord going into 2024, and I just want to see where we are. Do you believe? Okay, I keep the taps running for you. Deb, to the road. Yep, all in the house. I agree. Okay, let's see. We got a no. I don't know. Heck no. All right. So Robin is a I don't know. Wow. And then good hope you are at Brian. Okay. So majority I know. Robin, why do you believe Brian Kohlberger should still be a suspect? You want a link to come on stage or what? Or you can put it in the chat. Here's my take. All right. It's not just that Mr. Segal was saying that he saw multiple people in the house. We've seen multiple people around the house from 2 until probably about 8:30 in the morning. People are moving around that property. And I just feel like, you know, more than one person had to do it because everybody was home when they were committed. I don't believe one person went in that house and was able to, subdue or whatever everybody in there. I don't believe that one person could have done that, you know, unless they had a lot of time and a lot of element of surprise. And that's just not the case because for all we know, there could have been people home at the house that don't live there just before this happened, just like it was on every other night when the police were there with the body cam. So we take it for granted that the only people that were home were the Idaho 4-6 that lived there because there's a big chance Hunter was there. There's a big chance, you know, some of the frat was there. There's a big chance Quinn was there. There's a big chance Enid was there. If they had just had a party the night before. And so the first thing I'm saying I'm not going to change from is I believe there were multiple perpetrators. I believe there was more than one person in the house committing the crimes. All right. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about is the 911 call. Okay, we haven't heard it yet. There's some stuff floating around on TikTok. I think, Davino, you had one where you could
Yeah,
hear people talking.
yeah,
Um, there was somebody on over on Linda Lane footage, and it was supposed to have some parts for 1122. I'm
yeah.
not sure what to think about that. I really
I
don't.
don't know either.
But one thing that I do believe is fake is the DNA evidence. And I would like to know what you think about that. What do you think about it, Davino?
You knew you were gonna ask me that question.
Huh?
I said I knew you were gonna ask me that question.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the night sheet itself?
I'm referring to them separately. I'm referring to the sheet by
Well,
itself, getting to the crime scene, and then the DNA.
I just think, I mean, first of all, there's three unaccountable DNAs in that house that hasn't even been discovered yet, or as far as been, which makes no sense.
Right.
Um, the sheet itself, I'm not buying it one bit. I just think it's, I don't know. To me, I think it was planted.
The sheet and the DNA.
Oh yeah, yeah, because when they did their whatever their family tree thing or whatever you want to call it, something came up with the father had nothing to do with him on there, which was
Right.
kind of strange too. I'm thinking to myself, well, why would his DNA be all over that sheet? If it was his, he would have been all over that sheet.
Right.
But something with the father. So I think, yeah, I think those two were definitely planted.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my opinion, and I do think those three unaccountable ones those are the ones that they need to bring forward because those are your answers right there.
Right. Okay. I want to show an article here. I agree with that. I don't. I don't have any faith in the sheath or the DNA anymore. I
Nope.
I really don't.
I think it's
I'm not.
hogwash. That's what I think.
Let me transfer the article over here. I feel like the sheath is fake too.
Yeah, the whole thing is fake.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking maybe you know somebody
It
did
looked
leave it.
it looked too new, number one, and if he had it for a while, that sheet would have been worn and torn, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, Deb agrees.
They all better agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. Just kidding.
Okay.
What the hell?
Okay. Let me switch over here.
Shh, quiet. I'm gonna bring you on camera. I'm gonna show everybody see your pretty face. Hang on.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna bring Bam Bam on the camera in a minute here with me. If I can get him over here. Hang on. This ought to
Are
be a
you?
real trip. I haven't brought him on yet.
What about Pebble?
Well, she's kind of Miss Pritzy, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But she's hiding right now in the Harry Potter closet. So right now I'm gonna bring Mr. Bear on. You can at least say hi to Bam Bam. Hang on.
Okay.
With his
All right.
big cute face.
All right. Here's the switch. This is an article I want to bring up,
Come here, Bam.
and here it is.
Come on, get down. Come on. Here. Come on, Bam. Come here. Come on, Daddy. Come here. Come, Bam.
All right. It says,
Here.
where's the
Okay.
chair?
Okay.
It says,
All right.
uncuffed and in plain clothes, Brian Koberger walked into a courtroom as the families of the four
Stop.
universities.
Stop.
You got your
Listen.
camera on? Let me
Yeah,
know when
in a
I
minute. But he
let me
keeps
know when
going
you have it
crazy
on
on me.
because I have my back turned.
Okay, hang on. All right, Bam Bam.
All
Hold
right,
on one
it says
second.
uncuffed and in plain clothes, Brian Koberger walked into a courtroom Friday as the families of the four University of Idaho students he is accused of murdering
Stop.
watched from feet away. In the hearing, Koberger's defense questioned the validity
There he
of
is.
DNA.
There he is.
Okay, hold on. Let me split this screen. Oh my.
There he is.
My.
Say hi, Bam.
That's a big dog.
No, he's a baby.
He
Look at those eyes. Aren't they gorgeous?
Nina on camera. Can y'all believe it?
There he is.
Oh my. I mean, this dog does not look friendly. Like he should
He's
be
very friendly.
outside.
He hears everybody's voices in that. That's the problem.
That dog need to be outside.
No. Say hi, Bam Bam. Say hi. Yeah, there he is. He's a big baby. Okay, I'm gonna put Draco down. Hang on one second.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, mamma mia. Hang on. All right.
Somebody said
He's gone now.
volume.
He's what?
Is it better?
Yeah, it's good. He'll probably be growling, so if you hear him growling, because he hears your voice.
Oh, that dog. Oh my.
No, he's a sweetheart. He's a corgi. Well, I don't think he's all corgi. I think he's part bear or wolf, in my opinion. But he's something. He's something from the underworld, if you ask me. I don't know. But
oh, okay. All right.
he's a sweetie, though.
Well, thank you for bringing him on.
I tried to do my best for you. You're welcome. Now he's under the tree right now, so.
Under the tree.
Yeah, he's hiding under the tree.
Mm-hmm. I bet he eats up something.
He's what?
I bet he eats a lot of food.
Not really. I give him a half a cup in the morning and a half a cup at night. So if I make chicken or something like that, I'll throw that in between. But other than that, no, he's pretty good. Could he eat a lot more? Of course he could. Yeah.
Hey, Wendy. What? I can't believe you made a live. What?
What's
What?
up, girl?
Okay, you gotta watch on replay
What's up,
because we
girl?
already had the award
Ugh,
ceremony. Okay, where
who the
were
heck
we?
is Andy?
We
I am
we need to go
Heather.
back to the article.
Right.
Uh, I'm
He's a
thinking.
baby.
All right, it says the defense questioned the validity of DNA found on knife sheath at the crime scene. The authorities allege, even the people that write these are saying allege. Authorities allege connected him to the four murders. Defense attorneys demanded more information from prosecutors about the DNA. They have provided full DNA discovery for the sheath, the knife sheath, but not the other three unidentified male DNA samples. Defense attorney Ann Taylor told the judge. Prosecutors countered that they have handed over what they have. Okay, they have handed over what they have. All of these motions that Ann Taylor is filing is kind of weird because it's like she doesn't understand that. I don't know. People are saying she's setting him up for appeal, but he hasn't even. Listen, you need to try to get out of jail when you've been arrested for anything, not just murder. And so it's mind blowing to me that there's no real evidence on this guy, but he's in jail with no bond, looking at good 3 years, 2 or 3 years at best before he goes to trial. And you mean to tell me your attorney is building up for the appeal? What about the case at hand right now? Is that saying Ann Taylor believes that um, they've already lost this case? This man is on trial for death penalty. You know, I don't get that. I feel like if you're in jail for anything you haven't done it, you need to fight for your freedom first. And a lot of what Ann is asking for is really for the appeal.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
to be able to say you asked the prosecution for the DNA discovery 10 times, that's great. It sounds great. I
Yeah.
mean, good for you. But what about this lady's son here, sitting here right now, very young, very young to be on trial for something like this and just lose his life? What about getting him out of jail, home to his parents where he can wait it out at home on house arrest? What about making him throw this out, the whole thing? I don't care. The focus should be freedom. That would be my focus. I just don't see how um, all of these filings are doing him any good in the short term. And you might say, well, well, Hartu, this is not the short term. You have to play the game, the legal game, the way the legal system is set up. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, why would
Let me
you
be
sit here
careful.
and ask the prosecution 10 times for something they said months ago? This is all we have. There isn't anything else. And so if you take away the motions for the DNA, what else? What other moves do we have for what other moves do we have from the defense? Does anybody know? They have, is there something I'm missing? Does anybody know what the next move is? I just really don't understand. So that's one point that I think I needed to make because this case is almost coming, grinding to a halt as far as progress. And besides getting him to be able to wear a suit in court, I don't see the progress. I don't see why, what this dream team of attorneys is doing. I've heard a lot about Ann Taylor. Is she supposed to be a heavy hitter? But I'm not seeing it.
Shh.
Is it me? Am I being overly critical?
I don't know.
Wait, Cindy, Miss Cindy, the sheet being where it was Two suspects. Surprise wasn't engraved. Invite to his trial there on top of victim with his signature. LOL. Police. My sentiments exactly. I mean, what do you? What do you? Well, it was according to them, it was undemanded, and that move. I think this is a joke, really. I think the chief is a joke among law enforcement. Maybe they're just laughing when they tell us this because
Yeah.
you can't have it on paper that the chief was in one place and then come back a few months later and say that the chief was undermanned. And that's exactly what they did. And I haven't heard a peep from Aaron Taylor. It's like I'm on the sideline saying, my popcorn, I ate that. Where's the play? Where's the play? We I don't know what quarter we in, but I know I'm not hearing anything. Some of the moves that the defense could make, they haven't made them. And to just keep asking for the DNA discovery, like the December 1st date. I mean, that's not news. We already know they don't have it. They said, we've given you all that we have. In other words, these formal reports that you're asking for don't exist. What you see is what you get. I mean, the few things that we did turn in, that's all we have. In other words, and then another reason why I think it's a lack of understanding to keep asking them for this is they told us what back in the PCA that the IGG, the FBI went online using the same ancestry.com we looked up to perform these tests or to build a family tree. It wasn't formal. It could have been somebody in their car with a laptop, at lunchtime, and then just call Moscow back and tell them what he found. That's what kind of action it was. And they say that in the PCA. They say that. And yet, in the camera, they're saying, oh, they keep asking for it and they won't give it to them. You know what I think this is? And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that this is the only move Ann Taylor has. And that she has it. This is her excuse for not doing anything else. Well, they haven't given me the discovery. That's my excuse to put my feet on my desk and wait for that because without that, I can't move forward with anything else. That's the vibe that I get. As long as I'm filing these, this is my excuse, to keep this man in here, help keep him in here for 2 or 3 years. Brian, is she getting fatter? She definitely rolling some checks out. I tell you that much. And it's it's a shame, really, really. I hate to keep quoting Elton John, but this is a sad, sad situation. And I don't know what they told Brian, but he seems happy in jail. Have you ever seen somebody happy in jail, happy to be
Of course,
arrested?
he's popular,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think he's actually having women that are actually paying attention to him.
right. He's
So he
happy
thinks
in
he's the stud
jail.
on the block.
Yeah, he's happy in jail. I have never seen anything like that. Well, yes, we have. You know who else was happy in jail? Aaron Hernandez. Aaron
Yeah,
Hernandez was talking to his mother on the phone and telling her how nice, look at how nice my cell looks. And I stepped out of my cell and looked back how neat, how I had everything. He had lost his mind. He was sitting on the phone telling his mother these things like he was doing his time like a champ. Next thing you know, he was hanging from a sheet. You never know with people. This guy
yeah,
could come in the courtroom smiling one day and he could be over in the corner dead the next in jail.
yeah,
Because Aaron had just won one of his cases. They found him guilty on one. They let him slide on the ones he killed in Florida. So he had hope. But once he saw he was going to have to stay in there and keep fighting, he took his life.
yeah.
And
That
so
was a shocker,
everybody
though.
that's comfortable with this guy sitting in jail, it's not safe there. It's not safe there for him mentally, and it's not safe there.
Well, he was in prison. He wasn't even in jail. That's a big difference.
Yeah. That's okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But
I
at the
mean,
same, but would
because
you
in jail,
argue?
basically, yeah,
But
feel like
would
you're
you?
fighting. Huh?
I'm sorry. I can't. Are you
I
coming
was just
in?
saying, people in jail fight the same people every day, but versus in prison, they fight all different people.
Yeah. Let me. Well, since you said that, let me say. Let me. Would you agree that it's the outlook more so than whether you're in county or prison? Because I mean, regardless of which place I'm in, whether I'm in the county or they have sent me on to prison,
Mm-hmm.
the outlook, how much time do I have? How much time am I facing? And can I beat this? And if I don't feel like I can beat it, if I'm in the county and they're doing all kinds of dirty stuff, and I'm hearing testimonies from other inmates of how they were, pretty much. I'm sorry, I have my back turned because I'm waiting for this computer to come back up. Um, I don't mean to be rude, but
It's all right, no worries.
his outlook. It's the outlook. Everybody's saying Brian did it, and
Nah, way, he can do it.
the judge has said the indictment is going to stay, and so you're going to sit in here. You waived your speedy trial. I don't know
Yeah,
whose genius idea that was, but you waived your speedy trial. You're going to be here, settle in. Christmas is in a couple of days. He looked just as happy. If I was his mother, I'd be worried. I'd be like, why are you so comfortable in there? Did you do it? I would just have to ask my son and look him in his eyes and say, did you do this? And to just see what kind of feeling I get. And if he start, acting a certain way, I would just have to know because I'll be like, if you did this, you need to pack your suitcase and go turn yourself in, honey.
yeah.
You can't post up here as a quadruple murderer. Just go and turn yourself in and wear that. Hope the good Lord don't let them put you in the electric chair because, you know, that's the right thing to do.
Papa Rogers in a suit. There you go.
Well, I don't understand why they snatched Papa. I don't understand how Papa Rogers' account disappeared off of. It disappeared the same day he was arrested. And I know Brian Koberger didn't have time to, when they broke in that house like they did, to go shut a computer down. That's proof right there. We know that he didn't delete it. Why would law enforcement want to delete Papa Rogers? That's to see. That seems to me like it's more evidence that Brian did it. But as soon as he was arrested, somebody took it down. I think that was a mistake on the prosecution side, law
Yeah.
enforcement side. They should have left it up.
And now it makes him look like he's 100% innocent.
Yeah, because we saw him breaking into people's house. He didn't have time. He was in his pajamas. They said he didn't have time to log on somewhere and delete his social media. So I don't know why they took Papa Rogers down. I guess to try to
Mm,
make it seem like it was him because once he went to jail, there were no more posts,
I
right?
guess.
They said the post stopped when he went to jail, so he had to be Papa Rogers.
The necklace is in.
Miss Cindy, sadly, I have been thinking ahead. Read Innocence Project. Idaho 4 is determined it won't be anyone connected to that wonderful college.
A bunch of boogies. I love you.
But I'm saying, we're looking at the Innocence Project. Are we saying to help him now before he gets a verdict? Is that what we're saying with Innocence Project? I would be mad if I was in jail and people were planning my appeal and I haven't even been to trial for the actual crime yet. I'd be like, hold on. I mean, y'all, for real, y'all not trying to get me out of here? I'm just being honest. Another
Who
thing
knows?
about Brian spending all this time in jail, it's not just the danger of a suicide.
Yeah.
It's the danger of him being killed by another inmate. It's violence in the jails. They kill each other every day. And I guess they say he's in isolation or whatever, but he comes out sometime. It's a time when he's walking through one of those hallways and somebody can get him. They can go in his cell and get him. Okay, it doesn't matter whether he got a bunkie or not. If you know, if they let somebody in his cell, that's it. I don't think he's safe there. I don't think anybody's safe in jail. But anybody that believes that he did that, he's not safe in jail. All right, what we got here? It's 9:49. We got 11 minutes, folks. We got 11 minutes to finish our discussion. So let's go. All right, Wendy. I think I hear my dog. Hey, what are y'all doing? Let me go get him. Get her. Hold on a second.
They hear your dog. That's why. They hear your pups in the background. Say hi. There's Bam Bam. Say hi, guys. Say hi to Bam Bam.
You come in here and let them know who's the boss, not Bam Bam.
Well, they hear your doggies barking. Hey,
right?
Stasito.
Tell everybody Merry Christmas.
Basta.
All right. Let's see. All right. A lot of people have got BK convicted. That's Deb Tudoro. All right, you're right. People can say all they want to. Brian's innocent. Brian's innocent. Do you know they will put Brian in the electric chair or fire squad? Whether you
get a fire squad if anything else.
Huh?
They get a fire squad if anything else.
Yep, I think they voted on the fire squad.
That's what they were. That's what they were aiming towards. They were talking about that, and they said that they brought it back. And in his case, if he does get the death, that's what he's looking at.
Yeah, and then remember, Mr. Seagal said that he saw them trying to put him to death. Actually, trying to put him to death, and I mean that's not funny. This is serious. They've got one suspect that fits the bill. As far as they're concerned, that's their way out. And I believe that they will put him out of his misery if they get the chance. And then if the state feels like this is going to drag on and they really don't have what they need to, move it along and go ahead and convict him or whatever, they could be behind in us, putting him to sleep while he's in trial or whatever. So he's not safe there. He's costing the state money. A lot of people believe he did it. And so he's not safe there. I just want all of these, Brian is innocent and, it's going to come to nothing. All these people with that mentality, you're being optimistic about it, but kind of naive. It's a lot of innocent people in prison. And it's a lot of people that have been executed that turned out to be innocent. They just are. And so it can happen again.
Yep, it can.
It can happen again. So I just wonder.
But then the father, but then Mr. G said something about, well, that's, if he did it, because he changed the story again in that one interview, and he was with his wife. He said, well, it's possible that he might not have done it, or they might not have the right guy, or something like that.
Right. All right. Okay, here's the next topic that I wanted to address. Is Dylan Mortensen. Was she in on this or not?
I think she was, and I think Bethany's 100% innocent.
You don't think Bethany has any knowledge?
I think that Dylan knew all along, but I think that Bethany is the one that had no clue this was even going on or going to take place.
Right. Do you think she's a co-conspirator, DM?
No.
Really?
Yep. I mean, maybe if Dylan might have gone into her bedroom on the first floor, and she could have maybe told her something at that very moment, but other than that, prior to that, no.
Yeah, and the way they
But
describe
can you imagine
Keisha.
that? I mean, think about that. This is about to take place, and then she goes in. You go in your roommate's room and say, "Hey, there's gonna be a brutal massacre here with all four of them upstairs. So we need to stay down here." I mean, what would you say? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if that were the case, what would you say to that?
Right.
That
Well,
you got, I would just run unless she could have held her in. Who knows? She could have held her in the house. Who the hell knows? I mean, that room. Who knows?
yeah,
No one
you're right.
knows.
Well, if Bethany ran out of the house from downstairs,
Yeah,
the door was right there.
yeah, it was, and that could be another reason why the front door was open.
They said the front door was open until about 8:30 in the morning.
Well, that would make sense because if these took place around that time later on in the morning, um, that could easily make sense.
You think now? Let's see. If the crimes happened between 2 and 3:30, let's just say 2 and 3:30. That means it's people, and this matches Mr. Seagal. That means that kids were coming in that house, looking at those bodies and leaving, probably taking
Yep,
pictures and everything else
I
for a
think, I
while.
think, I think all their friends and the entire university knew this was what was going to take place.
Yeah, or quite a bit of them,
You
you
know,
know.
yeah, yeah, quite a bit of them. That exactly, not all of them, but quite a bit of them.
Yeah, or it could have been all of them. I mean, it seems like there were so many people coming and going.
I'm
Rob
wondering,
constantly
like I said,
making more moves.
at the food truck before Kaylee and Maddie arrived home, that if X and E they're already being that was being take it was taking place at that time, and they're watching it on their phones.
Right. And then
That would
the
be sick
Wi-Fi
because
was
now
around.
they're almost like accomplices to that. Think about it.
I mean, Dylan. No,
Yeah.
not so much of this is what's confusing to me. Dylan is in the middle of the action on the second floor,
Yep.
and then she's the one that gave the statement in the PCA. But Ann Taylor subpoenaed Bethany. That's something I can't reconcile. I can't.
I don't know what that's about. I know it's crazy.
Why subpoena Bethany if Dylan is the one with all the information and was in the middle? Her room was right in the middle of all of everything.
Unless she was trying to get to Bethany to get the answers from Bethany about Dylan.
Well, let's see what we
I
got
don't
here.
know. I'm blank on that one because I don't know.
All
I
right.
wish it was March.
Well, yeah, I keep hearing that all this is supposed to happen in March, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it. It's just telling us something to string us along every month.
Well, Mr. Seagal said something was going to take place in March.
Like what?
I don't know.
Information release. You think?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe someone could come forward anonymously. Who knows? I don't know.
yeah, he did say it, but he also said that some information that nobody knew was going to come out in 3 to 4 years. I always said that that's probably the verdict.
Well, I have some ideas about that, but I'm not going to go into that on this chat.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Dylan
I mean,
might
if you really
should.
want me to go into detail
I
about it,
think
but I
Dylan
mean,
should have been arrested.
oh, I agree 100%. I still think there's something going on with that G family. That's all I'm going to say. Um, I'm not going
Yep.
to go in a lot of detail about it, but I think you might know where I'm going with this. But
Yep. But
just
I agree.
something. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be very discreet as possible. But yes, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I agree because Dylan really should have been taken into custody, but they're so
Yep.
scared. They're so scared, publicity wise, of what's going to happen. You know, we can't even get the truth
Yep. And Mr.
because they're
Segal
so
said,
scared.
yep. And Mr. Segal said he saw a dark truck.
Right?
Well, there's only one person I know that had a dark truck.
No, who are you saying? What's the name? Dylan's boyfriend
Yep.
and a father also. And then I
Right.
think there's a police officer over there that has a black truck.
Well, he had Rosen. He had a white truck.
Um, who had a white truck?
The one LE officer Rosendahl.
You're right, but I'm saying there's another police officer, not him, and not that truck.
Oh,
I'm
well,
saying
that I didn't know about.
another one. They had a
Oh,
black truck that was downtown when they were at the corner club or whatever. And then here's another thing we talked about earlier in the past 2 days is Jack D being in the house. And then somebody said Jack D was dating Kaylee. Somebody told me that today.
Jack, he was dating. He was. I thought they broke up.
Listen to what I'm saying. Jack D, no, Dylan, I'm sorry. They said Jack D was dating Dylan.
Oh,
It's in the comments, so I don't even have
where
to.
did they come up with that from?
Well, they said this was going on the down low. Dylan and Jack D, Kaylee's boyfriend. And it's in the comments in this video I just put out. I'm not making this up.
So why isn't Jack D with? Unless Jack D is with Dylan right now, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's the case, now this changes everything.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's if that is the motive right there, I don't know what would be.
That's just wrong right there.
Well, that pretty much made him a huge suspect right there.
And see, maybe he was when she was calling him, he was already in the house at 1122 King Road.
And maybe she was already with Jack, and that's why he didn't answer.
That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying.
Well, then there's your motive right there. That's a big motive right there.
Listen, if she was messing with that girl's boyfriend, then I second my opinion that she should have been arrested. I'm sorry.
That she should have what?
She should have been arrested.
Well, maybe she was, and then there has been a gag order, so maybe she was, and they just can't talk about it.
That's not what Chief Fry said.
We don't care what that would say.
Chief Fry was he was saying they were not suspects. Don't call them suspects or witnesses. And Mr. G even said they were saying they cleared them and that this is not that. Don't worry about Dylan or Bethany. That's what they were saying. Don't worry about it. But if Dylan was dating Jack D, I mean, I take that back. I can't hold that against her because if Kaylee and Jack, but still, you don't go behind your friend. Because I was gonna say if they were broken up, it was fair game for her to date him. But you don't go behind your friend. Just the fact that Kaylee dated him, even if it was for 2 weeks, you don't go behind your friend. I don't know. I hope Dylan is not that foul. I really hope this is just a rumor. Because
I don't know. I'll tell you that the picture they had before they were murdered. People were saying that is an evil look in that girl's eye.
Well, Jack did live real close, so he could have been creeping. Who would have known and who would have cared if he would have been over there laying up in this room instead of that one over there?
I know. It sounds like a bad episode of Melrose Place.
So I guess we could have Jack D and Enon might have been over there and Hunter. Because the impression I got from what Mr. Seagal said is it was people up in that house after the crime. And it had to be students or people that usually hang out over there. Huh?
That's disgusting. I'm just being honest.
I hope Dylan is not that scandalous because I mean she's
I
been
think
getting a
she is.
bad rap. You know, Shout out to the L. She's back on membership status. I appreciate you, girl.
You are a big goofy. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Pebbles.
Now, let me see what they're saying here in the chat
Pebbles.
because this is wrong. I saw Randy and Lori. Let's see,
Stop.
Randall and Lori Gray.
Stop. Why do you keep doing that?
Hello to you. Jack D sounds like the man about town. LOL. I don't know why. He just seemed very conservative to me, but maybe I got him all wrong.
Come here.
Maybe I got him all wrong. Maybe we all got him all wrong. Look how Mr. G looked at him in the memorial. Maybe we got him wrong. Hey, Van Van. Oh, you can calm down now.
That's Pebbles.
That's the other one.
Yeah. Say hi, Pebbles.
I was getting ready to say she's calm, but you just as bad as the other one.
Oh, will you stop?
You just as bad as the other one. Oh my. Really?
All right, I'm taking her off camera. She's getting really feisty.
No, that dog should be outside.
That dog should not be outside. That dog should be inside.
I know you don't like to hear that.
No, I do not like to hear that. I resent that. Okay. All right.
Maybe we getting played by Jack D. You think we getting
I
played?
said that I said this from the get go.
Jack D. Grandpa money must be his attractive feature. Okay.
I don't know. I said that from the get go about him. I didn't trust him one bit.
Now listen. Everybody talked about how Jack D looked compared to Kaylee and Les and all. Y'all keep saying how.
Look at that real goofball, those Garfield eyes.
Let me ask y'all a question. If Jack D was 15 times more attractive than he is now, let's say 50 times, let's just be crazy. Would that help Kaylee? Would she be in a different boat than she's in right now?
Well, I think she felt like she had the power over him because she was much more attractive than he could ever be.
Okay, what I'm saying is Kaylee needed somebody to have her back. It don't matter how the man looks. If he would have had her back in this situation, yeah, I mean, I'm mad because of what happened. The way his attractiveness had nothing to do with it. The point of the matter is, she needs somebody to have her back, have your back. That's what she's supposed to. I mean, that's the issue, and not just for murder. If you're a female and you drink alcohol out in public, you need to have a chaperone, somebody to have your back. So you won't try to drink and drive. So won't nobody rape you in the alley. I mean, you need to have somebody to have your back. And I mean, usually from my experience, a man or a woman that care about you, they care about your safety.
Yeah.
Am I being so? Looking at how he looks, maybe he had more. I mean, I don't think he's a bad looking guy, but maybe he had more, a lot of things going for him besides his physical looks. Maybe he laughed, tell jokes, was friendly or whatever. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, if Jack D looked 20 times better than he does now, Kayla would be in the same boat. So the point is moot to just worry about who looks the best and who couldn't get somebody. We're missing the point here. And that's another reason why these girls are not here today. Because what is important wasn't amplified in their lives. First of all, your safety. The only one that had somebody that cared about her safety was Xana. Her dad came and changed the locks. He knew that was not the place. He probably felt like Xana could handle it, but he know that's not the place to hang out. That's not the type of environment for a university student, especially a female.
A real parent.
I'm sorry.
A real parent would have pulled their kids out of that school, or at least out of that house. Because I mean, if you changed the locks a week prior to this happened, the father knew something could possibly maybe happen, or someone was looking for them, or I mean, it all makes sense if you think about it.
That's what I said. I was
So
like,
why did he just? If that were my family, they would have pulled me out there and they would have said, "You're leaving." They would have
yeah,
dragged me out of there. They would say, "You're not staying here. You're leaving.
right. That's what I'm saying. I would have been like, you know, you can't.
You're
This
packing your stuff and you're going right now."
this was very high risk. This house, very
Yeah,
high
it
risk.
was
It was high
creepy
risk
house.
because anybody could come through there, and it was high
Yeah.
risk because there was alcohol and drugs there. I mean, there's alcohol and drugs in every house that's got at least 6 university students. Somebody got some drugs out of the 6, unless we at place where nobody, maybe it's a church school, whatever. I don't know, but even there, somebody's got some marijuana at least. And so this just was not a safe, healthy, clean environment for young ladies that are pursuing their education, and regardless of whether they were freshmen or whatever, all of them supposedly had boyfriends. But I beg to differ. I feel like Kaylee was the only one that really had a man, because I feel like um, the rest of them, if they really had boyfriends, they would have been in that picture on the porch. Ethan is the only one in that picture. He's the only one in a lot of pictures that are like couples and whatever. The rest of them might have been talking to guys, but I feel like Zan is the only one that actually really had a man. Because I mean, all of them took a lot of pictures. And that's another thing about Brian Colbert. He could, if he was watching online, watching these pictures online of these people in this house, hanging out and whatever. I don't know. I just don't see where he would have any interest whatsoever in any of them. Because Xana had a boyfriend, looking at Maddie and Kaylee online, stuck up under each other. You might have thought they didn't want a man. All right, I'm
I
just
agree
being
with that.
honest. And so that's 3 of them right there. And then Dylan and Bethany, same thing here. You know, you, a guy looking at all that might have said, I don't. It's nowhere for me to fit in here.
They want a
Either
hoochie mama.
this, I mean, it's true, right?
It is true. I
So
mean, they could have been bi. You don't know.
I'm just saying, it
So am
seems
I.
like Bob was really up in there. And that's why I asked, and I think it was like 5 videos ago, did any of these kids date each other outside of Xana and Ethan? Because that dynamic is very important. And you can't tell me that out of all of these people in that house, including the people that didn't live there that were there all the time, just chilling, some they go with each other, especially university students. There's a lot of experimentation once they get to college.
Oh yeah, there definitely is that, and I bet you. I wonder if Maddie and Kaylee had a little hate now time themselves because they were very close.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of those pictures and videos, they're really like close. And Zayna was the one that was more isolated from them because she had a man.
Right.
So I wouldn't surprise if they did sleep in the same bed from time to time. I'm just saying.
Well, they were telling us that Maddie and Kaylee were found in the same bed, and I
Well,
mean
maybe, yeah.
that
I
little
mean,
bitty
that's a
bed.
possibility.
Well,
So why would someone in college want to have a full bed?
Kaylee had a full bed. I don't
Who? I mean,
understand why the murders were in Maddie's room if they were sleeping together. Because that little bitty bed in Maddie's room barely was big enough for her. I think they were
I
trying
know.
to
That's
say, I think
yeah.
maybe they were sending a message that they were together when they piled them up in there. Be honest with
That's a
you.
that's a strong possibility,
Yeah, I think they were leaving a message saying,
and
"Look at these."
that has not really been brought forward about that.
It's true though. It's true. I think they left the dog as an insult to say, "Well, we don't we care about the dog's life, but we didn't care about your kid's life."
You know what?
And
That's a good point too.
I think they piled Maddie and Kaylee in that little bitty bed. I don't think it was by accident because they could have unalived them anywhere in the house. They had control. And
Yeah,
Mr. Seagal said something about binding that that somebody was secured. I mean,
what?
all right. Well, let's see.
Secu-
Somebody had
what are you talking
questions.
about? Secure?
He was saying bound,
Oh, bound. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bound.
I asked him that question.
He said he saw the son was bound. And so, if that's the case, they could have unalived them anywhere in the house. They didn't have to just catch them by surprise in bed sleeping, which is what we've been told. It didn't have to be that. It didn't have to even be that. If somebody was bound, you know.
I don't know the whole thing.
Now, if Dylan was a man, Dylan would be in the county right along with Brian Koberger, maybe even Bethany too, if they were men. Because really, that house, I would expect that to be like a frat house with 6 guys living there, and
That
then I
wasn't
would
a
expect it to
that
look
was a
like that.
weird house.
But for women to be living there and for it to be
Well,
that
no, just
wild,
the way the layout. I mean, that second floor looked like a first floor. It didn't even look like a second floor.
right?
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
It's weird, but it's open.
I know, but if you look at that second floor, it looks like it's like looked like the first floor. It don't even look like it's the second floor.
Right.
You know, like when they walk up to the patio and you have the back door. I mean, you just walk in, but then in the first floor, there's actually steps that go up, and that's just weird
Right. Well,
because it
that's
looks like that's the bottom level.
yeah. They say they added on. The house didn't
It
originally
looks,
come
I've
like
never
that.
seen anything like that in my life. That's just really weird.
He he remodeled the house and uh added either the first or the third floor.
Why?
That's not the original floor plan.
I know.
Somebody somebody was asking you about tunnels. I might have been telling the L, but I can't find it. All right, Randall.
You think there's tunnels in there?
Do I think what?
There's tunnels in that house?
I really don't think so.
I don't know either. I think they're watching too much football or something.
Well, I'm from the South, and we don't have a lot of basement houses where there's a basement and a lot of stuff going on under the foundation and stuff. The houses
Hmm.
are pretty much what you see from the street. But people
Yeah.
up north have different, the houses are different. And so maybe it was. I really don't have enough knowledge of that. But I mean, maybe you could answer. Do you think there's a tunnel? Because I have no idea about houses.
I mean, I just think it's speculation, but I mean, they're talking about. I mean, I know the president. I mean, it is interesting that the president of school did live in that house, which is interesting.
Yeah,
Now, there possibly could be some kind of secret passage. I don't know, but if that were the case, why whoever did this just did they just come in through the tunnel and just come up into the house?
you know, one thing you brought up a good point about the president living there. It's been his childhood, and I just really thought about this. Maybe it was cultish, and maybe
Yeah,
stuff has happened in that house before. They just it just didn't go this far.
it
Every
almost
year
like
they.
it could be like a timeline, like history repeating itself.
You're right. It seemed maybe this wasn't because that is very creepy. For
Yeah.
4 kids died, and the person that the people that died, the house they died in, the president of the school lived there. I mean, and uh, let me no, I better not say that. But That's kind of mind blowing to me. Of a coincidence. It's too many coincidences. And then all of a sudden, to gift the house to somebody else. Somebody quit. The owners quick deeded it to the school, didn't they? Yeah,
Yeah,
they quick deeded the house to the school,
they're
and
supposed to tear it down by December 28th.
well, I don't
I don't
know.
believe that one.
I, how do you feel about them tearing down? Does it make a difference now?
Sure, it does.
I've been in there messing around.
Exactly.
Uh, they've been in there messing around, and
Everybody do the mess around.
maybe it's not even like it was when the crime
Exactly.
when it's probably not even like it was. That's
It's probably
another
been all
thing.
repainted like Bob Vila was in there or something and did a lot of renovations.
This is another time that Ann Taylor was supposed to jump up and come with an offensive play because nobody should be in their house. Now that's somewhere that she can put her foot down. It's not a lot of moves out there she can make, but she creates some. Even if it's a bogus move, even if it's a pump fake, do something. You know, you ain't got to deliver on a pump fake, but give us something, you know, to make her feel like you moving and shaking over there. But letting those people go, letting the FBI and the prosecutors and all them go back in their house, she should have objected to that. She should have raised holy hell in public, you know, and stood up for her rights to preserve the crime scene. But
But she did.
it went wide open. They, I mean, people were going in and out of there, probably weren't even a part of law enforcement. And
It's so weird that how
mm,
the layout. I mean, you've got the first floor, there's nothing on it. Supposedly there's two bedrooms. One has been vacant, the other one was occupied. The second floor, you got the picture up there. That's it. And there's
right,
two bedrooms. Then
right,
you have to
right,
go to the third floor to go to the living room. That's just the craziest thing I ever heard in my life.
yeah.
That just doesn't, even a bi level, like the kitchen's upstairs and the living room is downstairs. That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Okay. What about the drugs? Is this the drugs? Is this the motivation? Is this the
Yep,
motive? Can we settle on that?
yep,
I mean,
100%.
even Mr. Seagal said drugs. I think that wasn't the only thing. He said a lot, and I don't want to misspeak, you know, misquote him, but I mean, there was a lot going on in that house. There were so many people in and out of there. It was just asking for something like this to happen because look at how everybody's fumbling around and find out who because there's so much traffic. Then
Yep, you
somebody
could.
else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just thinking, just we're not talking about marijuana. We're talking about some heavy stuff.
Right.
Because if this was marijuana, this would never have happened. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I
But we're
agree.
talking heavy stuff. So this was something that was being held for somebody. This was something that was supposed to be delivered to somebody, and they lost a lot of money on it, and they couldn't do the supply and demand. So now, wherever it was being stored at, and whoever person watching it, regardless if they were there or not, you know what happens.
Right.
And that's all I'm
Okay.
going to say.
All right. But all we've been hearing about the drugs is Maddie Flush drug. I haven't heard any. They haven't attached the drug motive to anybody but Maddie. Why? Why does it have to
Because
be
she probably
Maddie
knew
that
something
did it?
here and there.
Huh?
I don't know. That is weird.
Why does it out of all of the people now, it's the smallest, most unlikely one, which I think BF and Maddie would be the most unlikely ones to be involved in drug trafficking. You know, I just don't understand how the drug connection. Be honest with you, Vino, I really attach the drug motive and the possibility of trafficking out of there to Caleb.
Yeah. I think there's human trafficking, drugs, everything.
I just
I
I
think that
just be
house
honest.
is, and this is my opinion, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been having some pretty vivid thoughts, but I think this house was like a underground dungeon or cage. It's weird. Some kind of like, you mentioned cult before. I just think there might have been maybe sacrifices that were taking place there a long
Right.
time ago.
Right.
I think it was more like a underground.
Right.
I won't say
Maybe.
dungeon, but something where a lot of dark secrets
Right. Right.
that are still within those walls. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Uh, maybe
And now
these
you have
kids.
four restless souls.
Maybe these kids weren't the first ones to die in that house.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to go into the archives and find and do some research on that.
Maybe it hasn't been reported.
Hmm.
You know.
I wonder how long the president of that school lived in that house.
Say what now?
I wonder how long the president of the university lived in that house for.
It was his childhood home.
That's creepy.
I told you.
That's so weird. He lives in that childhood home and becomes the president. That is bizarre.
This was his childhood home. And
I didn't
then
know that.
for them to quick deed it over to the university, it's like when you
Like
put
he's hiding something.
yeah, when you put that with
NDA? Come on.
when you put that with them wanting to tear it down, it just seems like it's some funny business.
You know, I talked to a friend of mine's daughter, and she goes to University of Brown, Ivy League school. And I said, "You guys ever have to sign an NDA?" She goes, "What?" Like she was just like, "No way."
Yeah,
That I've never heard of any colleges making anyone sign an NDA. That means there's something seriously up there.
yeah.
I would never sign that.
Hey, Mountain Man, they wanted marijuana. They can go to the store and buy it in Pullman.
Yeah,
That's a thought.
yeah,
Well, oh yeah, that's what you were saying. If it was just marijuana, then it
right.
would have happened. Right. I see what y'all saying.
This
Yeah.
is heavy stuff we're talking about. We're talking about the real McCoy here.
Oh, so you could legally buy it in Pullman. I think that's what you're saying. In Pullman, you could legally buy weed. Really? Let me write that down.
Well, if you have a medical
You know,
marijuana card, yeah.
they had a marijuana store.
Well, then
That's
yeah, a dispensary right there. Of course you can.
all right. This is kind of off the subject, but I want to throw it out there before I forget. Some people were saying that Emma Bailey was in the house with Dylan and Bethany.
Okay, that was brought up in one of those recordings. I'm not saying if it's legit, but you actually can hear it. You kind of can hear Emma's voice.
Yeah, they were saying Emma, Dylan, Bethany, and who else was it? I should have made a screenshot.
Demetrius?
I think it was Demetrius, probably, but it was one other guy. It was another guy too. It
I
was.
wonder if she had something to do with this as well, but I don't know.
I think Emma and Demetrius may have been the suppliers for
Yeah.
the higher ups and probably dropped off and picked up or whatever. But as far as the punishment for somebody that mismanaged the money, that wouldn't have been their job. You're not a street, runner, a mule, and then on top of that, you turn around and you're the assassin too. No, they got a crew for that.
I think also what happened when Mr. Seagal said this, he saw fighting. There might have been a lot of arguing and fighting at first in the beginning,
Right.
and it really escalated into something that was just beyond horror.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it was probably I don't know, they're probably trying to find out what. Yeah.
Hey, Mark and Betty. Morning, all. And what is morning where you are? Where are you all? Mark and Betty. Where is
Hawaii?
morning already? Hawaii. Let's see. Let us know where you're hailing from, Mark and Betty. Welcome. Thank you.
Maybe Alaska?
Says morning already.
Oh, well, they could be in London.
Yeah. Alistair's in here. What time is it?
No, I don't know what London's yet. It'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, about 3 in the morning.
3:30 in London, in Italy, probably.
Randall and Lori Gray. I mean, if it were to come out, she was maybe making money for school, was added to soften the blow to her reputation or something. I think y'all talking about Kaylee, and we were discussing the possibility that Kaylee was on OnlyFans or something similar. You know, they don't go in the club anymore. They go online and do these things to make money or whatever. It's 3:28 in the UK. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's right. Cheers,
Abby,
everyone. Cheers.
yeah, cheers. All right. Well, when I chose Australia instead of UK for uh, the International Community of the Year, I think
Stop.
UK and Australia are pretty much kind of on the same vibe. So
You're
if that's
crazy.
any consolation to you. All right. Who we got? Um,
I
y'all
just think, to sum this up, I just think they got themselves real deep into something they just couldn't get themselves out of.
I think that there's
That's
something about,
that's exactly what I'm gonna just to sum it up as simple as possible. They thought, oh wow, and I'm like, what do we do now?
maybe that's why they let Emma and Demetrius out. So so that as a favor to them, so they'll keep their mouth shut. Maybe they were there because I keep thinking that this man is telling us that there was a crowd of people in that house. It wasn't just one person in there, and I
Right.
mean people in the closet. He saw people walking around. So where do these people come from? It's got to come from the pool of people that we've been talking about week after week, month after month. And remember when
Yeah,
they
I mean they definitely were ambushed, and he also said he saw people out in the driveway too.
yeah, yeah,
That's really bizarre.
oh, yeah, that is. And
Now, if
then
there's cameras in that house, they should have picked up those people in the driveway.
do y'all think somebody in there had a camera?
I
It's
mean, like,
possible.
well, they said that Dana had a supposedly a camera like 50 feet away from her window.
Who had a camera 50 feet?
They said there was like a ring or some kind of a camera that was outside the house. It was like 50 foot away from Dana's window.
All right.
Now I don't know if that's true.
All right. Do you all believe that I just had a
Well, they might have had cameras there because the original owners could have had cameras so they could keep an eye on the place.
do y'all believe the ringtone from the house right there by the house? Let me pull that up. That
No,
do
I don't
y'all
believe it
believe the ring
because if
cam?
it,
Because they're saying on the ring cam they heard a thud, which could have been anything. They heard a dog whimper, which I thought was very weird because
yeah.
I would think that Murphy would have been in full effect. You know, you
Yeah,
know,
and if the windows are closed, there's 28 degrees outside, you're not going to hear anything.
he heard Katie screaming. I don't care what room he was in, and so there's no way he was just sitting there.
Yeah, yeah. My guys would have went ballistic. My guys would have been biting everyone's ankles and everything possible.
But look at how many right crying to get out. What was that? Depth to the rock?
They
Yeah.
probably tried shooting the wall.
Now I feel like he would have been crying to get out. They,
Hell yeah.
those dogs run the household. At least mine is.
They know the scream of their mom or owner, so they're gonna
He
do.
heard,
You would think
yeah,
they're
he
gonna try to
heard
get
her
out.
scream,
Oh
and
yeah, that must have been horrible.
I just feel like this. I feel like Kaylee was in over her head. I think Kaylee was just
Yep.
trying to help her family. Y'all not. I'm gonna just say this, and y'all gonna tell me what you think about it in the comments and email me. But I have to say the truth the way I feel it. This is speculation, but I feel like Kaylee was doing a lot of stuff, not only to just pay her tuition, but to help her family. And everybody was coming at me saying the G's got money and they didn't need to, she didn't. Let me tell you something. As many interviews as these people have went on, they was the first ones to the courthouse to file for a right for a lawsuit. I mean, they would think about money from day one. And it just seems to me like Kaylee was carrying a little bit too much of a load for that family. And then the first thing Mr. G said when all this happened was that there was a sadistic male killer out there and that the girls walking the streets are not safe. That was pretty much his exact words. He didn't say the students. He said the girls walking the streets are not safe.
Maybe he
And
was pimping her out.
people gonna say we're victim blaming, shaming, and taming and
I mean,
everything.
that makes sense right there because I just feel like he had a very incestuous relationship with his daughter.
Uh, he said that, not me. He said
I,
that.
I mean, that was, I'm just saying what I got from the interviews and that.
Yeah, it's possible. And I tell you who's gonna end up being a powerful witness that nobody is suspecting. All right, here's one about Kaylee's sister. I'm gonna tell you somebody that's gonna be a powerful witness and nobody's expecting. The other daughter, the one the one we didn't know about.
Right.
That's on TikTok. I mean TikTok. The one on
Big track, I like
TikTok.
that one.
I ruined it. The one reading her diary on the social
Yeah,
media. I believe
that's
she's
weird.
gonna be a powerful witness because she knows the most about that family, and they talking so much. I just expect to see her in the lineup when they really start calling people. I I just see her as part of it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, when they got the message about what happened, they didn't like jump in their cars and just rush down. If that were my family, they would have been taking a plane to go down there.
Mm. Well,
That's really bizarre.
he driving around in her truck
I know.
doing an
And then, like,
interview.
after when it happened, they just stayed at home and didn't even go get in the car and go.
That was super scary.
That was super really weird.
Yeah, to see him um in her
And he's
car.
driving around like he just owns the car himself.
Well, he does.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well,
But what I'm saying is that after this happened,
yes.
and they're 90 miles away, they didn't even jump in their car and rush over to the school,
I mean,
to the house.
and then the interview in it. That's just mind blowing.
That is I don't want to get into too much detail about that family, but you know what? There's something about them is just not ringing right at all.
Yeah. Let me show you.
But that was my family. They were in that car so fast, jumping and flying to get down to, wherever they were at.
I'm getting ready to pull that up because I really can't.
That's it.
I can't believe it.
When they waited that long to go over there, their parents would have been expecting it.
Well,
If my father was alive, too.
well, here it is. Oh, I thought it was. Here it is right here, Court TV.
Oh, God, help us, Lord.
You share this. Okay, this is.
Yeah, there he is, right there in the car.
And he was interviewing. He was interviewing with the lady while he was driving the truck.
Yep.
And he was
I remember
all
this.
smiles. He was all smiles.
Yeah, there's something. Look at that picture, even with her and him, when he doesn't have his mustache or goatee. There's just something about that picture that just doesn't ring right.
It's something about the whole family.
Oh, yeah, that mom is really weird.
Yeah, hold on.
It's almost could be like almost like an ultra sacrifice.
Yeah, well, it's
Well, Todd said it. Sacrificial.
something is not right. Something is not right about
He mentioned cult too.
something is just not right about this man and
No,
his
there's definitely
wife.
not.
Something's not right. And we've been saying that for months. We've been saying that for months, and they still interviewing us and saying crazy stuff. And every time the case dies down a little bit, they come back and every time the case dies down, they come with some more fantastic story. Who was it this time? Harsh or Drunk Turkey? I think Mrs. G was telling Drunk Turkey something about Kaylee's phone, and then they're gonna turn around and say gag order. Come on now, you can't say we can't talk about it, and
I just don't know how he can keep a straight face.
y'all putting it out there. You see, he don't have no problems.
Well, they're making money on it. That's why it's happening every.
Okay, here's another question that I had about Brian Kohlberger. He was spotted this time. This is not phone ping. They have him on camera at Kate's Cup of Coffee or Kate's Cup of something down
Right.
in Union, the city down here where the Albertsons was, where they were saying he had gloves on inside of Albertsons. And then before he went to Albertsons, he went to the coffee place. This was after the crimes.
Wasn't he a germaphobic though?
Wasn't he what?
A germaphobic?
Well, he had OCD. They're neat freaks. They don't like for stuff to be out of place. And then to be a OCD and a vegan, the neat freak and the germ, not one germ, all that fit together to me. It seems like all of that is a part of the same type of personality.
It is a little bizarre that someone would walk into a coffee place and have gloves on. I mean, I will give you that. But then again,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe.
I never heard anybody doing that.
I don't believe that he had the gloves on at the coffee place, but I do believe that he had them on. He might have had them on in Albertsons because a lot of people wear gloves in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that before.
I mean,
I've seen in Publix.
Yeah, you can wear gloves in the grocery.
Yeah, like because like if you're pushing the shopping cart or something, you ain't you can't wipe it off if you have gloves on. It protects your hands.
But what was he doing down there? He needed some coffee. I mean, why did he go down there to get it? I mean, this is after the crime. People are already gathering at the house, gathered at the house and whatever. As
I mean, some people just go to their favorite spot. I don't know.
And I don't know. He seemed like he was all over the place. He was a monster.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just like to drive around and go to different spots.
He was all over Idaho. And for
So
that reason,
I
feel like he was getting, he couldn't score at one place. He would go somewhere else. What? That's my
couldn't score. She said score.
He couldn't. Maybe he couldn't score.
Are you talking about a girl? Or are you talking about his product?
It's what?
Or you talking he couldn't score with a girl, or he couldn't score with his product?
I'm talking about drugs. Some.
I thought you were talking about girls.
No, I wasn't talking about physically.
I was.
Because you don't have to hit and miss with that. It's somebody that would have said, "Come on, let's try it out." He didn't have to hit and miss with that. I'm talking about the drugs. Now that's a different story. Being from another place and trying to get somebody to trust you in the trap, and maybe he didn't want to keep going to the same place, so he needed 2 or 3 different places he could go, so he wouldn't be predictable. He didn't want to get arrested or be a regular at any place.
He probably knew all the spots too.
Right, because he was all over Idaho. He was in school in Pullman, Washington, but Brian Kohlberger was all over Idaho.
But you have to remember something too. On the map, there's like 4 to 5 states that border Idaho.
Right. Well,
so any place you go, you can pretty much on the border of another state.
Well, anytime you have a border, it's drugs. No matter what.
Yeah, that's my point.
Right, right. You're right. And it's just hard. Two state schools that close to each other,
It
that's
is kind
just,
of strange.
Florida State and FAMU are in Tallahassee. That's like
Yep.
University of Georgia being right there on the border across
Yep.
from Florida State. Do you know how much? I mean, you asking for trouble. that
Yeah, you are.
that would be hot. I mean, it's just not enough space at the border for two state schools across from each other. And then that same day, they had the kids died over here on the East Coast. I'm not sure which state it was. I forget. But those weren't the only deaths that day.
Which is really crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't hear that too often. You have four that were massacred and plus there's other ones in the same day. That's just really bizarre.
What I don't get is why Ann Taylor won't put a stop to the G's running around doing these interviews. She just done seen the mind.
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I
I
never
wouldn't.
heard of public defender being paid so much money. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wouldn't. If I was his attorney, I would tell him, you know, especially Mr. G, because he just really has been too outspoken, you know. And so here it is, what, December? I think right around the time that they played me out of my uh, probable cause hearing, right about then, when I realized I had gotten played, that's when I would have had a problem with all of these people speaking from the
What
prosecution
the heck was he
side.
doing right there?
Huh?
Oh, I thought he was banging on his eyes or something. Strange.
Oh, that's a commercial. I don't pay
Well, I thought that was Mr.
premium.
G for a second.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need
I don't
that.
need to see that either.
I don't need that. It's that's a technicality, I guess.
This
But
guy's was a weird looking character.
it's something wrong. And then when you do something you don't have, you if you're in the wrong, you don't have rest.
Maybe
That's
he's responsible for this. Who knows?
when you got something on your conscience, or you up to no good, get ready to be up to no good, or you have some deep dark secrets, you can't rest. And so when you see somebody run around and they never sit down, they can't rest. It's a reason for that. And it just seems like they can't rest. I don't see
It's
where
eating at him.
I don't see where this man and his wife, it seems like they can't rest. And so you have to ask yourself why. Because they can't rest. Soon as things get a little quiet, they're back out there. And the mainstream media is tired. And so now it's YouTuber interviews. I mean, you know,
I don't know about this character.
that's like
There's
playing
something not right. Something's not sitting in stone.
well, the truth does come out. The truth does come out. But something is not. I think the the paper said that Mr. and Mrs. G were going to testify at the trial, that they are on the list of witnesses for when it finally does go to trial. But I don't get how they get to be witnesses, and they've told all the business up until now. There's nothing to testify to.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. How could they even testify? They weren't even there. They had no idea what even transpired.
They're on the list. They're on the
Unless
list
that
of
they knew
people.
something that possibly could have was possibly was gonna happen, but then they might say, "Well, then why don't you open your mouth and say something?"
Well, I don't feel like we being that these people are being held accountable, because there's a certain way that a criminal investigation is supposed to be conducted, and certain things you're not supposed to do. To allow a second entry into that crime scene is a big no-no. I just really don't believe they should have been able to do that. They shouldn't be able to tear it down, and they shouldn't be able to re-enter it, especially to where you can make adjustments. I mean, I have to use your words. I've never heard of that a day in my life, where you can tape up a crime scene and then open it back up and let different agencies just come in for a free for all. I have
Yeah,
never
that's
seen that.
weird.
Never in any state. So I don't know. Maybe it's getting to the point where I don't know. I know I got common sense enough to know you're not supposed to do that. All right, here's the DoorDash driver. Here's one for you. You know, you can tell us. Anyone else think the DoorDash driver might have done a positive ID on BK outside the house that night? That's why it's all hush hush with the DD. What do you think about the DoorDash driver?
And I think it's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, you're
To
right.
me, it's more like the drug dealer. That's why I call him the DD. It's a drug dealer driver.
Right. Whoa. Boy, I can't give you a brain, your co-host. Drug dealer, DoorDash driver, exactly. I really think that whoever was driving around
DoorDash never writes your name on a bag or a receipt. They don't do
DoorDash,
that.
yeah, drug delivery, that's DD too.
Yeah.
I just feel like whoever was driving the car around there, especially on the surveillance, because it did seem like somebody was in and out of there. It
They could have been a lookout.
may not have necessarily been the same car, but it
Right.
was some in and out of that street with
Yeah.
cars, not just truck cars. We saw that. I saw some of it, some of the footage. And
That
so,
house was the Walmart for drugs.
Walmart. Well, I just don't
Being
know.
honest, it's 24/7.
But when did that start? When they moved in, or has always been a drug house?
I think it's always been like that.
I do too. I think that these kids are not the only ones that passed away in the house. I believe that
I
house has
agree
a history.
100%.
I believe it has a history, even if the crimes did actually take place under the house or some secret passages. But I don't think whoever did this needed any secret passages. I think it came through the front or the back door.
Well, that's what Mr. Cigar said. He said he saw him Jimmy with the lock in the back.
Right. Yeah, now that sounds about right. Nobody needed tunnels because,
But I think that they were Jimmy with the lock. This is before they even got home.
yeah, did they
I don't
lock
think
the
they did this
doors?
while all the cars in the driveway.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that because if her car was in the driveway and they were at the food truck, what I'm saying is that they knew they were out, so that's why they were Jimmy with the lock to get in.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't know the combination that go to the front door.
Well, they said, well, Xana's father, I'm thinking he fixed the bedroom door lock or the front door lock because each room had a lock, right?
Yeah, that's the mystery about this whole thing because prior to that, they all had computerized locks on their bedroom doors. But now they were saying that they think some of the rooms did not have computerized locks.
I don't
Not,
understand.
yeah.
Was it the front door with the number keypad? Is this
Yes, that had one.
that's the one Mr. Canodo fixed,
I thought
or
it was
was
her
it
bedroom door, not the actual front door.
the door on her bedroom?
That's what I was told. Because how would you know to fix a computerized lock on the front door?
I don't know,
But I thought
but
it was her bedroom.
they didn't keep the doors closed because you remember on the body cam, the guy said, "I just went and checked every room, and they're not here." So how could he check every room unless they just left their
Said
bedroom
that.
doors open when they weren't home?
Right.
They didn't keep the doors closed. So as long as you were inside the actual house, you could get in any room.
Man locked my door all the time. And I wouldn't let anyone in my house like that. That made no sense.
None. Well,
It's like letting someone hang on your, like a bunch of people hang on your door in college. I mean, hell no.
all right, here's a hot one right here. Let me see if I can find it. From Miss Cindy.
Miss Cindy Lou?
Miss Cindy Abbott. I can't believe what some of this stuff that's coming out now. I'm scared of this evidence that is coming out. Well, here's one. This is not the one I was looking for, but here's one of them. And Taylor doesn't seem too invested. I agree. It's mind-boggling to me how all this time can pass. And I'm not ragging on it because I'm not an attorney. I don't have any, background in law. I'm just saying, where's this going? Are we just gonna ride the wave down to a verdict, a guilty verdict?
I don't know.
Where's the intervention? The legal, I don't see it.
I just think that there wasn't a gag order on this case. I think the thing might have been already tried and resolved.
Well, Robin said, yes, I know college kids where I live that are doing it and it's no big deal. Hey, I gotta say, it's safe. It's only online unless you let out too much info. It makes you tons of money, just like that there. Right,
What,
but
OnlyFans? Are you talking about doing?
people can still find out where you are online.
Yeah. Of course they can.
That's the only thing. You might be on one of these social media doing it, and they turn around and try and track you while you're online. They tracking your location.
You're talking about OnlyFans?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
okay.
Robin was saying on the screen. It's they can track you online. Like right now, I got 3 different devices going, and usually one of them end up, you know, seemingly under attack before I even finish. People can find your IP address. They can they can find out just from the internet provider where you are.
VPN?
Yeah, they can find out. So while you on OnlyFans or whatever, 'cause I know that can't be the only platform for that type of thing.
Right.
You thinking you have privacy, but you can open your front door and the person standing right there looking you in your face because while you were on the internet, they were tracking you. How do you think the CIA and all these other places find people? It used to be just FBI and CIA had those capabilities, but now we all have them. As long as you can get apps, you can find it because it's what they were using in the first place. It's no privacy out here anymore. You have privacy, you know. You don't have privacy. I was looking for one that I saw from Deb or Cindy. One. Merry
Miss
Christmas.
Cindy Lou.
Let me see. Is this it? Tell it L. I've heard that they have. Well, Christy has some shady business in her name. I hope none of the families have a thing to do with this, but something's not right. I agree, L. You know, they gave us the profile of the family, but that's not what I'm seeing. It's not matching up because a family that's financially, well off, whatever, and I'm not saying because we all have times of financial difficulty. I know I do, throw that in there. But why would these people be going to all of these different occasions like this? I just feel like Kaylee was pulling the load, and I can relate to that. All those people in that house, Kaylee the only one that looked like she had some money, in my opinion. And I hate to be rude, but that's just the way I see it. I could be wrong, could just be my personal opinion. I could be way off the mark. Then again, I could be right because certain way you don't act that way if you have all the resources you need. You ain't gonna be out here with a cup all the time. Not all the time. I mean, all the time? No, I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on to the next comment. I don't believe that. Randall and Laurie Gray. All the secrecy is more than drugs and college kids are OnlyFans. MPD doesn't give a rip about that. But ask yourself, what would they care about, right? Reputation and money. You know, you're right. Y'all are right. I think the
Everyone's
drugs,
right.
but then we end up being looped back to drugs. If we say it's more than drugs and college kids, the Bible said that the love of money is the root of all evil. So if we say it was all about money, that can still put us back through the logic tree to drugs, right? Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, you saying I guess. Well,
Well,
Oh,
yo, it's all about. This is all about drugs.
I believe drugs. Mr. Seagal said he saw drugs, and I believe him. The only thing that about his visions that I can't see is the part about the stalker. And
I think
before
the
I,
part of the stalking part was with the actual perpetrators themselves, or probably were stalking them prior to all this. But I don't think had nothing to do with people.
you know, I think it's different degrees to stalking, and that he could have seen stalking on a maybe on a level that doesn't escalate to murder. You
Yeah.
know, maybe he did have stalking tendencies to the point where he would keep looking at their pictures online, follow them or whatever. Then you got somebody that'll peep in your window, okay? Then you got somebody that'll run into you in public and try to talk to you and stuff, call your phone. Then you got some that you gotta call the police on them. Then you got some that you gonna have to kill him. That's the only way you're gonna get him out your face. It just depends on how far up the totem pole the stalking is. But I just don't see Brian taking, if he even knew these girls, I don't see him taking that to a level of actually getting out of his car and looking in their window. I don't
I
see.
agree with you.
I mean, everybody on University Idaho campus could have had their pictures in their phone. Once somebody is public online, anybody can have your picture in their phone. That's why that online dating is so dangerous because
It is.
it takes time to get to know who you're dealing with. And when you meet somebody and within that same week, y'all are in each other's presence, it needs to be in public. It doesn't need to
You
be in
meet
a
someone, you
drug
better have an AR-15 in your car.
huh?
When you're meeting someone, you better have an AR-15 in your car or something.
Something, Glock.
But I'm telling you, it's dangerous. You're right.
Yeah, well, a Glock will do it. A bullet will stop all
Well, a
that.
Glock, yeah, even a 22 could even do something.
I feel bad for these kids. I really do. I feel bad because of how violent it was. The
Yeah,
way
it was
that,
bad. It
that
wasn't fun.
it's one thing that somebody got your money or misused your product or whatever somebody might have done. Okay, fine. But if you had to end their lives, why did you have to take their dignity? Why did you have to, clown them in front of people? Why? Because I know you have to make an example, but these are kids. How much could they have done? They haven't been on this earth long enough to really got deep, and they just got to the school. Some of them, no.
All I'm gonna say is, whoever did this, they were so hated to the point where that's all I could say. I don't have any answers for it.
I don't know. I don't feel like they had to do them like that now.
Oh, I agree 100%. But
It had to be some real crucial, grungy stuff going on with these kids for
if
them
someone,
to.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because everything looks great above the surface doesn't mean it's kicking like 1,000 miles an hour below.
Yeah.
What I'm
Well,
saying is that if this any stuff was flushed down the toilet or anything like that, that is definitely a motive right there.
yeah, it's definitely motive. Just having drugs in that period is motive because if the drugs went missing, it's no use in naming Maddie. Because look how many people came through there. It could have been anybody. It could have been
Yeah.
anybody to take them and lie. I just, there was too many people, too much traffic. When I saw that nobody was home and the house was full of people, that was mind blowing to me. To leave your home open, anybody can
Yeah.
come in. And there was a lot of guys over there.
Yeah, she's at the club that night. Maddie's there, and then he's like, "Oh, her name is Maddie or something." Or, "Oh yeah, she was on the here." And, no,
Mm. Well, I'm thinking that Emma and Demetrius probably were dropping drugs out there or whatever, picking them up, picking up the money, had some kind of involvement in the sale of drugs. But when everything jumped off, if they were in the house when it jumped off, Maybe that's why they got off so quick over in Washington, because it was a deal for them to keep their mouth shut about the Idaho 4 case. You know, maybe that's how they got out so fast, because they know exactly who did it, and they know it's not who they say.
Right.
And so, you know, you to stop them from talking, you have to pay them, or offer some kind of deal, or
Yeah.
kill them. I'm thinking that's how they got out of jail so fast, if they were in the house. And you said something very interesting too the other day about Enon possibly being the one to call 911.
Oh, Enon, yeah.
Do you still think that this is a possibility?
It is a possibility. I mean, he lived right there.
Right, right. And he admitted
And
he
his
was
apartment was like right around the corner.
yeah.
And I think, didn't he have the red car by his house? By his place?
Right. Did he do you think he was still selling drugs?
Yes.
I do too.
100%.
I think that's what he was doing at the grub truck, because he had worked the shift. He didn't need
Yep.
food. He works at a restaurant. He didn't need food. He could have got food for free at his job. I think the
Right.
reason he was at the grub truck was to sell. And
Something.
and he was there with Maddie and Kaylee. He knew all of them. He couldn't say he didn't know them. He was right out there with them. He can't say he didn't know them. And then if he was at the grub truck selling drugs, or that's what he was doing out there. I don't know, maybe it's something about the grub truck, because we had traffic passing by there. I've even heard Xana and Ethan went the grub truck. I've heard it all about the grub truck. But maybe that was a dope spot. He was definitely out there. I saw him with my own two eyes. So he can't say he doesn't know Maddie and Katie, because everybody out there at that truck seemed to know each other. So what's the problem? All right, so let's see what other comments we have here. What
You're
happened
talking
here?
about the grub truck?
Huh?
Yeah, I think that grub truck is so significant. Supposing they claim that Ethan and Zane were there on camera.
People are claiming that they were at the grub truck. I haven't seen it.
I
And
looked in
then
the back and I didn't see anybody that looked like them.
me either. And then they
I saw
said
a lot of shady characters, but I didn't, you know.
it's a lot of manufactured evidence in this case.
There's a
Because
lot. If you notice that grub truck, there's more males at that truck than females.
yeah, you're true.
It was
That's
like
true.
over dominating with males that night.
Right, right, right.
I think I saw maybe 3 to 4 females, and that was it.
Hmm. Wow. I just had a fleeting thought, and
Oh boy, here it comes.
it's not a good one. Well, y'all pray for me. I'm trying to stay on the right foot in life.
Good.
It's a lot of temptation. Well, I guess it was too much temptation in Moscow, because they didn't have to be that brutal, and knowing these people had to send these kids back to their families in body bags. Why would you do that? I don't know. For all we know, maybe there was an egregious error made.
Oh, there
Maybe,
definitely was that.
maybe somebody really messed up, and
Yeah, that's what happens. And then, like Mr. Segal said, a statement was made.
you're right.
I
Maybe there
called it a
was no
message, but it's the same thing.
maybe there was no coming back from what they did. Maybe somebody
That's
did
what I'm
something.
saying.
Maybe it was just, I don't know. And then Mr. Segal said that all four of them were meant to be unalive. I said the same thing. I made 2 videos on that. Everybody was arguing with me. No, this one's a target. No, this one.
He said all of them were the target.
I think he might have said all six. I don't know.
Oh,
I
sick.
can't back that
I
up.
thought he meant all four of them, not
Well,
the other two.
he did say all four. He did
Yeah,
say
so
all
they're
four.
all involved in something.
I mean, it confirmed so much of my information. I was very happy to hear that somebody, was getting the same, that something was supporting what we've been saying. Because I told him from the get, when I made the two videos, I called Dylan to the stand. I told him all four of these victims, the, if there was one killer, he had to pass by Dylan's door 4 times to get
That's a crock. I don't buy
upstairs and
that.
down, and then, and especially like the kitchen door, he had to pass by her door 4 times.
Yep.
And they're telling us
No,
the
she was in the
footprint
closet.
in that little foyer area is where the footprint was.
That was her footprint.
That's what I said. Well, in the survey, I think we got the majority saying, let me see what's on here.
How do you have just one footprint without other footprints being all that traffic area going back and forth?
Right?
That doesn't make any sense. Whether you spick and span or something?
I said it was either Dylan or Bethany because Bethany could have been coming up to Dylan's room afterwards and stepped in it.
Yeah.
It could have been Dylan or Bethany, but I believe it was one of them too.
And Mr. Segal said that nobody cleaned up that scene.
All right, let me grab another comment. I just don't. All right, this is interesting. Mountain Man, I live in Hayden, which is just north of Coeur d'Alene, a few miles. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I see just like the rest of you do. Well, that's good. And see you right over there, close by what's going on. That's where
Wow.
Maddie and Kaylee were from. That's really good. Thank you for saying that because we want to solve the case. I mean, if you just looking for a thrill, some, just some quick lie or quick whatever. I mean, if that turn you on, it's plenty of that out there. But we're trying to solve the case. And stuff that's not true is just making it harder for us to do that. And I'm just skeptical of stuff that comes out months after the, man was arrested. I trust the evidence in December and January more than any other. Not to say that they weren't trying to deceive us at that time, but up at that time, things weren't as shot out as they are right now. They could only lie so much, and they didn't know what Ann Taylor and Brian were gonna come back with. But now that a lot of things are out of the way, I'm gonna tell you another reason I don't believe the prosecution at all. When they were demanding Brian's alibi, if you got him, pinned down in all these places according to his phone, what do you care about his alibi? If you can prove where he was, why do you need him to tell you where he was? And they kept pressing him for that. I think it was like July when they just start putting in the paperwork, the prosecution, oh, we're demanding Brian Kohlberger's alibi. Why? If you have his phone pings, you telling us you know exactly where he was from 4:40, around 4:40 a.m. to 5 something a.m. and just before 3 a.m. You knew exactly where he was. So why do you care about his alibi? Why do you need to hear what he's gonna say? If I got you on camera in my backyard, I don't care where you or and I got your phone records and it's pinging in my backyard. I really don't care what your testimony is, man. As far as I'm concerned, you can plead the fifth because you're going to jail. If I got you on camera and I got your phone pings in my backyard, we don't need to talk. We really don't. So if that's the case and the evidence is legit, baby, that's the attitude that law enforcement took. But if that evidence is not authentic, You just telling us something you put together. That's a problem.
You
Was he
know,
over
Mr.
there? I'm listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying, Mr. Seagal said when he was on it that they might not ever find out who actually did do this.
Well, I think they will. I think they will because a lot of people praying on both sides. There's a lot of people praying that Brian Koberger burned in hell, literally. And then you got some
Yeah.
people praying for him to get out before something happens to him. They believe in his innocence. You know, he got girls writing him, trying to go with him and stuff. And so you got a lot of people praying for him too. And so, I mean, you got a lot of people like me. I'm just praying for the truth. I'm praying for justice for the kids. And whatever the truth is, whatever that may be, that's what I would like to see in its entirety, the full truth. Okay, but I believe it will come out. I think little bit by little bit, we seeing the true colors of the families. Be honest with you, if they would have had that probable cause hearing in June, and things and the trial would have started in October, I think we would have a totally different performance from the G's than what we're getting now. Because right now it seems like they're just buying time, just coming out with
But
some of everything.
they're good actors.
Mm, no, well, I better not say that either. I'm gonna go with what you said.
Hollywood, an Academy Award.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough on
I'd
there.
like to thank the Academy.
That's what the same thing you said here. Randall and Lori Gray. Never ever have I seen so many actors around a crime, and also never ever have I seen such bad actors. Now I agree because you showing your hand. Anybody here play poker, Texas Hold'em? I used to love
Yep.
to play that. Anybody here? I
So
mean,
there.
they showing their hand. First of all, you're acting like you needy by taking these, you know, interviews and dives. Pretty much, if you were on Ashley Banfield, you know,
Oh,
or call
God.
Oprah or Dr. Phil, tell them to get involved. But to just resort to giving different YouTubers interviews, that's like the bottom of the barrel. You know, that's like Zelensky. He was speaking before all these councils, very important councils in the beginning. Then he just started playing at places and they start walking out when he was speaking. So I say that to say this. Mr. G and his wife started out on, mainstream media and actual news stations. So now all of a sudden, some of these interviews they're not even showing their face. The YouTubers just coming back saying what they told them, or it's by the phone. But I mean, that's pretty much like
Crazy.
I'm trying to find a comparison. Um, I don't know. That's like Simone Biles, you know, competing, on the university level right now. Does that make sense? You would not expect to see Simone Biles, competing in gymnastics at a university because of the level she's on right now. I would not expect the victims' families of a quadruple homicide at a university to be on YouTube giving just private interviews and then sometimes not even together because Mrs. G gave Drunk Turkey an interview by herself. And I was like, dang, Mrs. G let her evidently so. Why they didn't sit there together and give him the interview? That
Well, he
kind
could
of
have coached her
stuff,
what to say, too.
that's crazy. That's not, there's something wrong. I guess
Exactly.
an open relationship, like somebody, maybe you said, maybe it's open relationship, and I need to get out the business, but I was shocked. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Well, I guess, but
I'm gonna keep it to myself. But it's just shocking to me. But if they had gotten If they had gotten the probable cause hearing and set the trial October the 2nd, or may have even been even earlier if they had the probable cause hearing. A lot of this stuff coming out with the G's and whatever, we would have never found out about it. They wouldn't even have a chance to do all this. So really, we're getting a glimpse at some things that we need to be taking notes on. You see, because if things would have happened like it was supposed to, we wouldn't even know about some of this stuff. It
Yeah.
wouldn't. Some of these interviews and stuff wouldn't have got this out of hand.
You know, it's really weird because I never even heard of the state of Idaho or anything really being listed about the state itself until this all came out.
I didn't either because
Because I mean, I know Idaho, but I don't know what's even in Idaho except like Boise or something. But I never heard of Moscow or anything like that. And until now, it's like it's becoming a real popular state.
right, I didn't hear about it either. And I don't know. Robin gave me a lot of insight about Idaho and how they do things, and I didn't really understand the difference. In how different the legal system works in these different states until I mean, look at some of these true crime cases. It's not the same. You can get a
Right.
totally different reaction from the legal system and the public, depending on what state you're being charged in. And that's something
Yeah.
the international community has to understand about the United States.
I never seen anyone have their mugshot taken by a cell phone.
Me either. I've never seen
That
that.
was really, really weird.
That's a bad idea to say
That
that
was taken from the cop's cell phone. I'm thinking, what is up with this?
what they're saying is the police are putting these apps on the law enforcement officers' phones to be able to scan licenses. I think that's playing a very dangerous game.
Like
I would
Russian
not.
roulette.
That's a bad idea because
Yep.
you're on body cam. You don't know whether that's their personal phone or the equipment that was designated by the department. They
Yep.
just free to take pictures of license all day long. And that's where a lot of this scamming and ID stuff is coming from. They could have put Kaylee's ID in Brian Kohlberger's car. He was over there taking a picture of her license. Maybe that's how this claim of ID got on the list in Brian's car because Mr. Segal brought that back up in another interview. And he was saying something about ID in Brian's car. This guy scanned her license, and then they turned around and told us Brian had somebody's ID. I'm thinking maybe they were gonna run that plate, and they decided they backed up off it because people would be saying, "Wait a minute, now you just going too far with this." And then I don't know. I know I put out a short of him
Well,
taking a
I never
picture of
seen
the
a cop
kitchen
ever take a picture of someone's ID with their cell phone.
and the kitchen.
That was
They
really
could,
weird.
so he could say that they could say Brian Kohlberger was peeping Tom. He was looking through the kitchen because the guy took a picture of the kitchen on the outside, and
Yep.
then he had her license. He had a
Why?
picture of the kitchen during the day with people walking because Xana was in there with her shoes off, and he was taking pictures.
Yeah, it's like he almost knew this was all going to go down.
My heart goes out to these kids. Let me tell you something. If that was my daughter and she was in her home where she had a right to expect privacy, and she ended up on a picture a police took of her when there was no noise complaint, no warrant, no reason to be there. He just gallivanted to the back of the house, never even knocked on the front door, and he's back there taking pictures. And my daughter ended up in the kitchen with no shoes on, trying to get some food. Why are you taking this picture? I would have had problems with that. It's too late to complain after the kids are gone. You got to put some stuff on lockdown, especially your daughters. It's
The
not
same
safe
people
out
more
here.
than moving.
It's not safe out here. Never was safe out here. It's not safe out here. It's weirdos, perverts, murderers, killers, rapists, just wait for the chance. In every community, it's not safe out here. And, I have a cousin is trying to graduate from Tuskegee. A lot of people on my mother's side graduated from Tuskegee. One went, and everybody in their family goes now. And I just worry, I haven't really seen a lot of violence in HSBCUs. I don't even know if, I guess it is one, but it could jump out right now. And then somebody call and say, well, my cousin is passed away. Let me tell y'all, it will be too much to deal with. I'll say that. It'll be too much to deal with. And I think another reason why I ended up doing this YouTube channel and following this case, it's a reason for everything. All things work to the good, according to those called according to his purpose. So when you spend a lot of time on anything, it's never for no reason. But there are so many people in my family that are university minded, especially on my mother's side. Just about everybody has been to college at least once, and it's almost like not safe to go to the university anymore. Even, I mean, that's the message that's coming across. If enough students lose their lives, people gonna start sending their kids to school, to these schools. But I guess you can go to college without your parents' permission, right?
When my niece was going to Johnson Johnson in Wales and Providence in Rhode Island,
Right,
they had a lot of, I hate saying this word, they had a lot of rapes up there. And her father pulled her out of there illegally.
right. I don't. That's what I'm saying. This is
And then
this
she
is
sent us
hard.
to NYU.
Yep, yep.
But my point is this: there was a lot of erroneous activity going on over there, and he stepped in, he took care of it really fast. That's what should have happened with those families.
Right, right, right. Well, some of them probably didn't even know the situation with that house because
Which is probably true.
a couple parents said they had never been to the school. I mean, been to the house when they after they moved in. I
Doesn't
know
make any
Xander's
sense.
mother
How could
had.
they want to do business for kids?
They hadn't been there. Okay. But I mean, you didn't see a picture of it. Your
I
kids
know.
didn't sign
No,
themselves
my
to
mom, she been
college.
bringing pots of olive oil and everything else over the damn place.
Right. You didn't see any. You don't see this stuff. I'm thinking Kaylee's sister is on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. Not the parents, but the siblings of the victims. Y'all didn't see all that partying and all that stuff going on online to say,
Yeah.
wow, soon as stuff like that happen, they put those body cams on YouTube just like commercials. So the siblings didn't see all this going on and say, wow, this is a very wild environment. Most
Unless, unless they were hippies.
mo- swingers, oops,
Yeah, that's what I'm seriously, because in the 70s, anything would go back then. But maybe, that could be their lifestyle.
right,
If
right.
that's the case, then they wouldn't care.
Mm, maybe not,
That's what
maybe
I'm
not.
saying.
Well, it might be true, Davino. I hope not. I hope, I hope that's
I
not
don't know
true.
why, but things that just started to cross my mind, and
Mm,
I'm
mm,
kind of going that direction.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I hope it's not like that. But there is such thing as the sins of the fathers. You know, not just
The
sexual,
moms deserve too.
sin, but violence also. You can inherit violence.
Yeah.
You can follow how different generations inherited violence in the Bible. You know,
Yeah.
and so you can inherit violence. It's a spiritual aspect to it, to where you could be reaping what your ancestors did. It just depends. When I say ancestors, I don't mean 200 years ago. I mean your grandparents, your great grandparents, and then their parents, maybe going back 3 or 4 generations. Because look, they're going back 3 or 4 generations on this DNA, trying to see, where it all started. You can inherit what's the word? Different types of oppression. You can inherit different types of violence and even sexual sin. You ever seen where a woman will get on TV and say, "Well, I was raped and my mother was molested as a child. Her mother
Yep.
was raped or whatever." You see what I'm saying? And so it's like a generational curse. And so you can inherit violence. I'm not so sure if this was a sexually motivated crime or not. It's
I don't think it
possible.
was.
I think some detectives say that it's always sexually motivated. If it's
I think it's
females,
possible that that might have taken place in the house, as far as as these attacks were occurring. That is a possibility, or leading into the attack. But I don't think that was the motive.
no, I don't think it was a motive, but I believe that it could be. It could be that they didn't have the opportunity, or maybe they did. Maybe somebody was sexually assaulted. But look at how the shape the bodies were in and how long they sat in the house. How would they even know?
Yeah.
Look at how bad a shape they were in. And then they were in the house for at least, 12 hours, 10, 12 hours before they would even try to move them. How would they
Yeah.
know they were sexually
That's
assaulted?
just. It's just. I don't know. Something that I wouldn't.
Yeah. All right.
There's
Well,
a
this,
lot of just missing holes in the Swiss cheese,
yeah. Let's see. Now listen up. This is the last live of the year for Heart Truth Channel. Y'all done a great job. This is the last live because next week is Christmas week, and there won't be a members only live or a Thursday night live next week. This is the last live of the year. And then I would like to do something for New Year's, but I will have to let you know exactly when because December 31st, midnight is watch night service, in the Pentecostal community. So most Pentecostals are in church at midnight on December 31st. So if I do something, it might be for that day, just not right at midnight or something like that. So as far as December, this is the last live of the year. And so I have to tell you all, thank you so much. So many people have come through here tonight that some of them I haven't seen in a while. So I really appreciate, we really appreciate everyone coming out. But we're going to start wrapping this up. I'm going to take one more comment from the chat, unless Davino, you have something you want to
No,
add to
good.
it. Yeah?
I think I'm pretty good.
All right, hold on a second. I want to pull up one more comment. Let's see. Somebody that hasn't been up here yet. And this is something too. So is Ethan's mom is also Deb Tutoro is saying, Ethan's mom. You may be, well, how are you saying that, Deb? Because of the book? Is it because she wrote the book? Or because she wrote it so fast? Because I don't see a problem with a parent, creating a book to memorialize her son and, have some souvenir of him, so to speak. But it was fast. It was very
But where's the money
fast.
going to?
Well, I'm sure the proceeds are going to her and her family. She'll probably get royalties off of that for a long time. She'll get endorsed because of the way her son died, I think. And he was a triplet. I mean,
It's
but
just sick. I mean, it's just too soon for something like that to even come out.
yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
It's like you're
I,
profiting off his death.
it's like we are becoming desensitized to murder. We're
Yeah.
becoming desensitized to violent murder. Because look how easily people shift away from cases. All it takes is something a little bit more intriguing or more recent to come about, and everybody, just like a herd of cattle, or run and drop this case like a hot potato and run to the new one or the more interesting or more intriguing cases. And I think that's fine because you don't have to have any type of bond with the victims or whatever to be a true crime sleuth or analyst or whatever we're trying to be. But you do have to have tact. You do have to you do have to respect the game. I hate to put it like that. Even if you do need money, or even if you do, have your own reasons for handling these murders after you lost your child. You, I don't care what you're doing in life. You still have to respect the game. And just everybody breaking the rules over there, the prosecution and the defense, if you ask me. And
Yes,
it's
sir.
you can't get anything done like that. You can't expect the other side to do what they're supposed to do, play by the rules, and they can't expect you to do it. I don't even want to play when it's like that because there's no boundaries. And nobody's, you know, what we agreed upon. That's not what it is. And so they showing their hand a lot. The G's. That's what I was saying before. They showing their hand a lot because you don't know what a person has financially. You don't know what they have in their head, emotionally or mentally, unless they tell you. Unless you sit there and you observe long enough, paying attention to that person to really know what's going on, not just what they show you. And so my point is, the G's are showing their hand right now with all of these just just spontaneous, interviews, just random everywhere. There's no method to the madness. Just every once in a while, just pop up and give somebody an interview. I mean, to me, that's showing your hand. You know, you might need your cup out every blue moon. Everybody needs help, but just be walking around with a cup, that's something totally different, in my opinion. It just depends on how you were raised, and it depends on, the opportunities you had as a person or as a community. But like I said before, no matter what you have or don't have, it's no excuse. You still need to respect the game. And sometimes that's how you end up in a cemetery because you didn't respect the game and you disrespected something or somebody in some way, and it was no coming back from it. Because the police will tell you that a high percentage of criminal cases come from somebody being disrespected. It could be a small thing or it could be a big thing. But I mean, disrespect is a big reason for a lot of violent crime, at least where I come from in South Florida. It's very important that you certain things that is agreed upon you don't say and do that you don't do them. And then if you do and something happen to you, nobody says anything because they feel like you brought it on yourself. Because everybody knows, quote unquote, we don't do that like that over here. So disrespect plays a big role in violent crime. I'm not saying that any of these kids disrespected anybody, but it's possible. It's possible. It may be relationship related for all we know. It could be other players involved from the universities, people we don't even suspect. But at any rate, let's see. I have enjoyed all of you. I'm ready to
You ready for the
change
new year?
and bring in some new vibes, some new clues, some new information, rework what we've already reworked, and stay on the path we're on now. And that is the only considered evidence that makes sense. All right, let me get my notes. So far, we've said there were multiple people involved. There is no lone killer that went in there like a ninja and did this. So going into the new year, we are not accepting that Brian Koberger went in that house and did this alone. I mean, that's been trash. If you'd like to vote it back in, email me. Matter of fact, let me put my email up here because it's people that may want their award certificate. And
Yeah, I
so,
mean, Brian might know that who might have done this, but I just don't think he was there.
I think it's possible that he might have been parked in a car back there in the woods, like somebody was suggesting. I
He
think
could,
it's
he could,
possible.
he could have been a lookout. That's possible.
No, I think he could have been, just partying in the car. A lot of people sit in the car and party. They don't get out.
Yeah.
I believe he could have been doing that. I believe he could have got his little package or whatever. And if he had ran out and he finally got a chance to re up, he couldn't wait till he got to the apartment. He had to pop that right there. So
Yeah.
he could have been in the car somewhere just minding his own business with a friend or a car full of friends.
That's what
That's
most people do anyway. They're not gonna wait till they get home. They're gonna do it right there where they're at.
he popped that right there. So
Yeah, they drove that far to go get it. They're gonna do it right there. They're wait till they go back home.
yeah, I would just say I would just tell the truth. Yeah, I was over there trying to cop. I don't know what you're talking about. And just let it be known that I was tipping, getting pills or whatever I needed to cope, because I can't be a full blown heroin addict at WSU. So let me get something to, abate that or whatever. I'm not sure if that's the word. I believe that that's exactly what he was doing. I believe if he was at Moscow, probably more than 12 times. This when you pull that technology, some of his times he was over there might not even show up on the paper, but that doesn't mean he wasn't over there. I believe he was over there looking for dope, some mild prescription over the counter, not over the counter, but something he couldn't get uh, without a prescription. I believe that's what he was digging for, and he had two or three places that he could go and get it. And I believe once he got it, he stayed in Moscow with it, maybe stayed in the car and used. They might have been back there in the woods. They might have been the ones with the camera back there for all we know. I believe
Yeah.
he could have been in Moscow that night looking for something, might even bought it and sat out somewhere to use it. And at the same time, it was already planned to take these young people's lives. So whoever was sitting there was sitting up, to become a suspect just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what I believe happened with Brian. You know, he might not want people to believe that he's not just squeaky clean, super recovered heroin user. That's a bunch of bull as far as I'm concerned. I I just feel that. But that's just my opinion.
But did he really say it to the police? Did he really say it to them? Like to arrest anybody else?
Right, right. Because if he was over there, whoever he caught from, somebody had to put him down.
Right.
He's from Pennsylvania. They don't know him. So for him to even be able to buy over there, somebody had to put him down. And whoever put him down, probably got some of it off him as payment, you see. And so now they're buddies. And every time he goes over there, he brings that same dude. So he won't have to get his hands dirty buying it. And then once he gets it, he break him off. That's payment for the hookup. So every time he came to Moscow, he probably had at least one other guy in the car with him.
That would make sense.
At least one, because he wasn't going in the trap and actually putting his hands on some pills or whatever and handing them the money himself. I don't believe Brian would do that. Not from PA. He knew better. He had to have somebody ride with him to get it. And then
Yeah.
just in exchange, he just told him some of it. He had to. And I mean, they're just common sense.
Yeah.
And then he was over there away from his family. Maybe that's why he chose Washington in the first place, to get away from his family, to gain some autonomy back, to have his own identity outside of that big, nice family home, to be out on his own. He OCD. So this is probably the first time that he really was actually fully out on his own. And he probably wanted that because even people that really can't maintain, they love to be independent. They're the main ones that want to be independent. People who
Yeah,
can't
that
maintain.
was a good sized house.
Yeah, it's very nice, and I think it was a
Uh,
close knit family.
They were saying that they were broke, but I didn't believe that one bit after looking at that house.
Yeah.
It's a big. So it was about a good 4,000 more square foot house.
All right. Here's our last one. Tell it to L rejoined as a member today. So she's gonna take us home in the chat comment section, and she's saying yes, it is. I think maybe they just pinned him to one day set him free. But I've got the two sources, two stories, both make sense, but they can't not look like they're trying to pin someone. Let me tell you something. I want you to look at this second sentence in this post where it says set him free. All right. The reality here is nobody's itching to set Brian Koberger free in the system. Nobody. They got a suspect pinned down that does not have an alibi. It doesn't get any better than that. And so it's no use in even using the word free for the next probably 12 months when you talk about Brian. I'm just being honest. I don't want you to keep getting your hopes up every time Aaron Taylor has a motion throughout the indictment, because that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way Brian Koberger is not going to trial. There's no way in heaven or hell he's not going to have to answer under testimony or judge, as a defendant. That's going to happen. So set him free should be nowhere in your repertoire right now, L, because it's not going to happen. It should be nowhere in your repertoire. Those three words. When you're talking about Brian Koberger, this is what I mean by reality versus fantasy. Okay? Understand, I really don't feel comfortable with him being in jail. I wish he wasn't in jail for his safety, whether he did it or not. If they didn't have enough to pin it on him, he deserved the bond. He deserved to be home with his family. Where is he going? Everybody in the world knows his face. Where could he go? Nowhere. I feel like he should be on house arrest. I feel like he should be on house arrest just by the simple fact that he was an upstanding citizen for the few months before they locked him up. Forget all his life. At the point that they locked him up, he was doing what he was supposed to do, as far as we know. He was pursuing his education, and he was a teaching assistant at the same time. I mean, what else could he be doing? So just on that merit alone, I believe he deserved a bond, because the DNA was a lie. And even if they didn't give him a bond in January, Ann Taylor should have brought that bond hearing back and insisted they hear that again after the DNA was introduced in the PCA, and after a lot of information started flowing and they couldn't get their story straight about it. And after, let me tell you something, after Howard Bloom dropped that bombshell that the DNA went to Texas and then to the FBI, and that it wasn't just cut and dried tested in Idaho State Lab. After he dropped that right there, if I was Brian Attorney, I would have brought that bond hearing back. I would have told him, let me tell y'all something. Bring this bond bail hearing back, because you're playing with people's lives. And I would have made that out of the probable cause hearing. Once they had the bond hearing, all the testimony I wanted to get out to the public, I would have got it out at the bond hearing. Well, you heard it through the grapevine, but this is what we got. And then let the public fight for him. So none of that happened. So I guess that's it. You know what you got?
Oh, no, the best. I'm just gonna say, everybody, it's been a pleasure knowing you guys for this year. I look forward to speak with you guys next year. Ancora tutte una vacanza felice seconda, and to many all your families as well. Okay, buon Natale.
Buon Natale. I tried to say it. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you for everybody that watches on replay. Thank you for our international community. We have a good turnout tonight from the UK, Scotland, Australia. I didn't see everybody, but when I watch on replay, I'll be able to see you. All right. But thank you so much to everyone. And let me put my email back up here. I want to stress that if you would like to have a copy of your certificate, I can email it to you. If you're on the mailing list for the newsletter, I already have your email. I'm talking about those of you that are not on the mailing list. Let me find my email again. And let's see. Who won the trivia? It was Miss Cindy. Let me write that down. I owe you a gift.
No, she didn't win it. She dominated it.
Yeah. All right. So the spread shop, the following Miss Cindy, AF, and Robin Latham
You go.
are the ones that can. I don't care what you pick out of there. I brought the hoodie out because that's the most expensive item. But I don't care what you pick. Just pick something, whatever you want. That'd be your prize. All right. So I think we no lives next week. Okay. Unless some hot news drops, and I just have to open it up. No lie. Unless we get some breaking news. Now, if we get some breaking news on mainstream media, I might have to open. I'm gonna open up the live, but I don't
Yep.
anticipate it. But if so, I will open up the live. But unless that happens, enjoy your families next week. Don't just take a break from Hard Truth. Don't just take a break from YouTube. Get you some rest. So you can handle the stress without having health problems or whatever. Get you some
Drink some
rest.
vino.
Get you some beauty sleep, ladies. Don't let them give you a bunch of jobs. Don't cook. Order some Kentucky Fried Chicken, a bucket of chicken and some biscuits. Tell them here's your dinner. Don't cook. Close the kitchen down.
Listen to the vino. Get yourself some vino.
Yeah, Davino will make the Christmas dinner. He's the great cook, the chef. You cook
God.
the dinner, huh? I'm telling you, sometimes it's time to take a break. And
That's
then we need
right.
to talk about our strategy for South
Dos
Africa,
fiestas.
ladies. Remember, we need to talk about that too. But we'll talk about it in
Escute.
our first members only live in January. That's what I'm trying to give you the game. Nobody will listen. Nobody's interested in K Time with me. But I'm telling you, all right now. But anyway, I love you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming.
Tanto
I'm
d'amore.
I'm going to include all of you in my prayers and watch night service. And I will see you, unless we got some breaking news, in the new year. All right? Night night.
Night night.
Thank you, Davino.
My pleasure.